A single snowflake landing on the man's face sparked a sudden realization, offering him a way to survive. Facing a horde of archers ahead, he did not retreat. Instead, he rallied his companions to charge forward with him. Are you mad? The wind is blowing against us. So what if it's against the wind? The barbarian army's archers fire in an arc. With the wind, their range will extend by 50 paces. Today's snowflakes are hitting us directly in the face. That means the further away we are, the easier we will be hit. But charging forward still risks being struck by arrows. Do you see those mounds of earth ahead? Later, when the first volley of arrows descends, we will roll towards them. Those mounds are blind spots left by the previous charge. Arrows cannot reach there. The cavalry archers are preparing to charge. Young man, you possess a strange cunning. Why do you seem like a different person today? It's not over yet. The true slaughter is only just beginning now. The thunderous sound of hooves drew ever closer. Even hidden by the mounds, Jiang Ding could sense the killing intent emanating from them. The barbarian army's heavy cavalry needed no tactics. They simply relied on the force of their war horses and thick armor to directly trample these condemned men, who looked no different from beggars. To simply crush them and pass through was enough. Never in his wildest dreams did he imagine that after merely falling asleep, he would transmigrate to the great Chinean Empire, becoming a weak scholar, moreover, captured and sent to the northern frontier defense line to become a ditch filler. The so-called ditch fillers were, in essence, merely tools used to wear down the vanguard of the enemy, flesh shields to fill the traps and trenches of the foe. In the military registers, their names had long been struck off, leaving only a single designation: cannon fodder. HMPH? I will not perish here. I must find a way to return. Do you wish to live? Speak, if you wish to live. Then listen to me. Do not stand up and fight them recklessly. We will jump into that place. It's a cesspit. That is also a path to survival. Quickly point your spearheads upwards firmly, bracing against the hard earth at the edge of the trench. The first warhorse soared over their heads, mud and horse spume spraying all over their faces. Immediately following were the 2nd and 3rd Cavalry. The battle formation ahead instantly shattered. Countless death row prisoners were impaled and sent flying, reduced to a pulpy mess. Desperate screams intertwined, forming a symphony of hell. But at this very moment, a warhorse, perhaps having stumbled over dead bodies on the ground, failed to leap over the shallow ditch with its front hooves and stomped heavily on its edge. This was the moment. Damn it. Quickly, retrieve that barbarian's blade, and that set of armor as well. Ah, there's even wine here. Yes. In these turbulent times, where human lives are as fleeting as weeds, to enjoy a truly comfortable bath, it seems many more must perish. The barbarians. Wine is truly fine indeed. This old blind man is truly no ordinary person. That last blade strike evaded the cavalry's armor with incredible precision, striking directly into the gap at the neck. Such a level of martial prowess cannot be achieved without decades of cultivation. Within this death row camp, there lies a crouching tiger, hidden dragon. The old blind man is, in fact, not blind at all. Jiang Ding called him that because a frightening blade scar marred his left eyelid, obscuring half his eye, making him at first glance greatly resemble a blind man. The old man and Bei beside him were both responsible for filling the ditch, and neither of them were to be trifled with. The old blind man possessed astonishing martial prowess, while Bai's strength was even more unrivaled. At this moment, he was hauling over 100 caddies of loot, yet his back remained perfectly straight. Shouldn't we return now? What is the hurry? If we return now, the disciplinary squad will not have rested fully. If we manage to keep even half of what we possess, it would be a blessing. Indeed, those wretched scoundrels. When the barbarian army charged, they hid in the rear to claim credit. But when it came to looting spoils, they raced forward faster than rabbits. Ah bah! Take off those grass sandals you are wearing. Put these on instead. Are you doing this to win over hearts? These shoes, within the death row camp, their value exceeds even that of a woman. You simply give them away like that? He possesses the greatest strength among the three of us, and is also the slowest run. Tomorrow, should battle erupt again, we will still have to rely on him to carry the shield. If his legs falter, he will be unable to stand firm. If we cannot stand firm, both of us will perish. This was Jiang Ding's logic, absolutely rational, absolutely pragmatic. Yet, paradoxically, hearing it ignited an unprecedented warmth within people's hearts. Abba, having finished changing his shoes, looked up and smiled at Jiang Ding. He then patted his chest, emitting a dull thud. His gesture conveyed, "My life is yours to command." Those bloodsuckers must have retreated. Let us secure a good spot to sleep. At night, the death row camp was even more hellish than a battlefield. To prevent riots and escapes, several thousand death row prisoners who fortunately survived were herded into a colossal fenced area. Here there were no proper barracks, only a few bonfires for warmth. Everyone desperately crowded around the bonfires. To contend for even the slightest position near the fire, fights were an everyday occurrence. When Jiang Ding led the blind elder and Adba into the fenced area, they immediately attracted countless greedy gazes, for no other reason than they were simply too rich. "Oh, isn't this the new white-faced scholar?" I casually scooped up a handful of wet soil and sand from the ground. Half an hour later, I will use it to take someone down. On the way from the battlefield to the death row camp, I continuously rubbed the wet sand in my palm, using my body heat to dry it, then added some lime powder, concealing it within my sleeve, because I knew that bringing so many spoils of war into the death row camp would inevitably lead to others attempting to violently plunder me. "Oh, isn't this the new white-faced fellow? Quite lucky, aren't you? To think you actually survived and returned. But you fools must understand the rules. Newcomers who wish to warm themselves by the fire must first pay a birth fee. Esteemed elder brother, we merely stumbled upon our lives and managed to return by chance. In such cold weather, no one has an easy time. Let us make things easier for each other." Make things easier? If this old master shows you deference, who will show deference to this old master? Stop spouting nonsense. Leave behind the water pouch and the satchel from that hulking fool. As for you, retreat to that corner and survive. Otherwise, scholar, these men truly dare to make someone fall. Later, I will hold him back. Ongjian, Abba, run in that direction. So, there is nothing more to say, is there? Cabbage pot. Abba, take a full draw. Old blind man, give me the saber. At this moment, Liu Daoseo had been pulled out of the fire by his companions, but half of his face was burnt to a crisp, and he was still convulsing in agony. I carried my saber and slowly approached. His subordinates around him did not even dare to step forward. All of them were stunned by my recent actions. In this place, if you want others to fear you, merely relying on your fists is not enough. You must let them know that if they cross you, the price to pay is something they cannot bear. I claim this spot. Does anyone have any objections? Very good. Abba, take that piece of meat out and grill it. Old blind man, give me the wine. Abba, help me find a shard of broken pottery. Don't stop yet. Place it by the fire and melt it. What are you planning to do? Wash my feet. What? Wash your feet here? I haven't bathed for 3 days. My body is about to be utterly obscured by grime. I don't expect a full bath, but at least I must clean my feet. A person must live with some dignity. Otherwise, how are they different from a pig wallowing on this earth? Truly comfortable. Madman. Following a madman is still better than following a fool and dying early. Furthermore, I, this madman, can lead the two of you to live like proper humans. General, this is the young lad who killed the centennial commander of the barbarian tribe. He doesn't look like a soldier at all. Instead, he resembles a young master out for a spring stroll. When slaying men, he is like a hungry demon. When enjoying himself, he is like a noble. Such a person is either a madman or a born hegemon. So, should we transfer him to the personal guard camp? Not yet. The personal guard camp is too pristine. It cannot raise wolves. Just let him wallow in this muddy pit for a few more days. I want to see how many people this clean-loving wild dog can ultimately bite to death. Are you awake? Yes. Yet you were still able to sleep. Last night, at least 3 groups tried to sneak in and raid the camp. Furthermore, 2 blind fools dared to bring knives. I broke their arms and threw them into the latrine pit. Oh, wasn't I aware you were nearby? Thank you for your trouble. Who did that? Reporting. Great sir, it was I. You, with just this small frame of yours? Could you possibly have taken down Scarface Liu Dao? Though that man was a useless individual, he at least possessed some strength. On the battlefield, it's not about who is stronger, but about who utilizes their strength better. This man tried to steal Great Sir's war spoils last night. This humble one, to uphold military discipline, was forced to act. Upholding military discipline? And Great Sir's war spoils, you say? Stop spouting nonsense to this old man. In this convict camp, human lives are cheaper than weeds. If he died, he died. But Scarface Liu Dao owed this old man 5 taels of silver, and now he is dead. Who does this old man collect this debt from now? Are you trying to extort me? That's easy enough. My only fear is that you will not accept the goods. Ah bah, hand me the bundle of items. Great Sir, the 5 taels of silver Scarface Liu Dao owed you. This dagger should be enough to settle the debt, yes? All these items were taken from that barbarian. Great Sir, these items are not important. Just consider this as the 5 taels of silver, paid as repayment for Scarface Liu Dao. Furthermore, in this humble one's satchel, there are other items with which this humble one wishes to conduct a transaction with Great Sir. A transaction? A death row convict like you dares to conduct a transaction with this old man? Do you believe that even if I strike you down now, these spoils will still rightfully belong to me? My lord can certainly dispose of me. But once I am gone, my lord will only reap a reward this one time. The barbarian forces yesterday were merely the vanguard. The true grand battle still lies ahead. I am a scholar, skilled in military strategy, and also adept at setting traps. As long as my lord provides me with the means, in the future, of the valuable items I acquire on the battlefield, 6 parts, will belong to my lord. My lord, consider this. Is it more beneficial to kill the chicken for its eggs, or to nurture a goose that lays golden eggs? Ma Zi remained silent for a moment, then finally agreed to my proposal. Satisfied, he stuffed all the items into his tunic. Only then did he clear his throat twice, feigning indifference, and frowned at the group of death row prisoners who were eagerly listening in. What are you staring at? Haven't you ever seen military affairs being handled before? From now on, this area will be entrusted to Jiang who now? Jiang Ding. Right. This will be managed by Jiang Ding. Whoever dares to provoke him. It is precisely causing trouble for this old man. You've gone mad. Not to mention such valuable spoils of war, but even for what we acquire in the future, do we truly have to hand over 6 parts to him? Those 6 parts are merely a ruse. With the battlefield in such chaos, what exactly did we obtain? Where would it be hidden? Besides heaven and earth, who else would know? Haha, you scholar. You truly possess a dark heart. That afternoon, while the other death row prisoners were lining up for thin gruel, the 3 of us received 3 hard black flour buns, accompanied by a small piece of pickled vegetable. Yet I was not satisfied, for this was merely the beginning. By the afternoon, Zhang Mazi arrived again. This time, he did not come to cause trouble, but instead brought news that made one's heart pound. Jiang Ding, compose yourself. Someone from above has called for you, wishing to meet. Above? Who from above? The deputy officer of General Li, from the renowned Northern Army's personal guard, has personally come. He said that your horse trap pit is rather interesting and wishes to ask a few questions. It is Li Muji, the sea-stabilizing divine needle of the great Qian northern border. Is it the very person whom later historical records acclaim as the tragic military god? To think I would meet such a renowned historical figure so soon. This prisoner, Jiang Ding, pays his respects to the general. I heard you cleverly used a latrine pit to kill a centurion. Indeed, how interesting. 3,000 men in the death row camp all wished to escape and save their lives, yet you were the only one who thought to hide in the muddy pit ahead, and even stabbed a centurion to death. General, I am a lazy man. My strength is weak, and I run slow, so I can only use my wits, employing the least strenuous method to preserve myself, while conveniently allowing them to be captured. Present your hand. Your calloused palms are chapped and cracked, proving you do not know how to wield a spear. Your lower body is weak, proving you have never practiced martial arts. Though your eyes contain ruthlessness, it is the ruthlessness of one driven to desperation, not the killing intent born from slaying foes. You are an intelligent man, but not suited to be a soldier. The general speaks truly. I also have no desire to be a soldier. I was originally merely a scholar, and now I only wish to be a master overseeing records. If the general would show me favor, assigning me to logistics, even if it were to serve meals, I would be immensely grateful. So, you wish to be lazy? I despise intelligent idlers most of all. If your mind works well, yet you do not wish to exert effort, Then I shall find you a task that requires both intellect and minimal physical exertion. My command. The death row prisoner Jiang Ding, having performed meritorious service against the enemy, is promoted to the rank of scout captain. From today onward, he shall command Death Row Squad 7, a total of 50 men, and be assigned to the Vanguard Battalion of the Northern Garrison Army. A scout captain? How can this be called a task requiring no effort? Scouts are the most perilous unit in the entire army, and moreover, he must lead a group of troublemakers from the death row camp. General! What is it? I dare not. This subordinate obeys the command. That is a task of 10 deaths and 1 life. With such a number, if our men were thrown into the wilderness, they wouldn't even cause a ripple. 10 deaths and 1 life. As long as there is a sliver of hope for survival, I can transform it into a grand path reaching the heavens. Li Muzhi, do you intend to use a borrowed knife to kill someone? Very well, then I shall show you just how swift this saber truly is once it is swung. HMPH. Where are you going? To select recruits. Since I have been granted 50 quotas, I must choose very carefully. I must find and root out all the scum and deviant good-for-nothings within this death row camp. A battle that ordinary people cannot fight, madmen can. Deeds that regular army units dare not undertake, we can. I relied on just 50 black buns to become the first heterodox king of the great Gan nation, and the first step I took was to bring 50 black buns to the death row camp to recruit soldiers. But I only took the weak and sickly. As for those who know how to fight and carry, I do not need a single one. All of you, stand at attention for this old man. Commander Jiang has already spoken. Only 50 people are needed. Whoever wishes to eat their fill, whoever wishes to escape the fate of being mere cannon fodder, whoever feels they possess true capability, take 1 step forward. Choose me, Commander, choose me. I was once the executioner of the escort bureau. My saber skills were exceptionally refined. Commander, I am this strong. Abba, throw him out. Great strength is only good for being a human shield. What is needed is intellect. Stratagems to preserve one's life. How strong are you? Can you be stronger than the ironclad berserkers of the barbarian army? Or stronger than the giant crossbows that can pierce city walls? You, step out. What is your name? Reporting. Your Excellency, this humble one has no name. Everyone calls me Dirt Rat. What crime did you commit to be here? I pilfered the undergarments of the county magistrate's concubine, and conveniently took some silver along the way. Were you discovered during the theft? No, absolutely not. That night, the county office kept 3 guard dogs, and 2 patrolling guards also failed to discover me. If not for later, when I went to fence the stolen goods and was betrayed by the pawn shop owner, no one would have been able to catch me. Good. Old blind man, give him a bun. Many thanks, Your Excellency. Many thanks, Your Excellency. The death row prisoners all stared on dumbfounded. They all suspected I was mad for choosing a despicable thief who only knew how to steal dogs and catch chickens. The muscular escort master was thrown out. But in the next half hour, my selection criteria repeatedly shattered everyone's perception. A frail, middle-aged man with a sallow face gasped for breath even when walking. He was selected. This man was called Old Huang. Previously, he was a quack doctor wandering the martial world, and was sentenced to death for accidentally killing a patient with an overdose. The reason I chose him was that he dared to employ lethal methods, proving his ruthless heart, and his ability to kill with medicine demonstrated his understanding of poisons. A carpenter who had lost 2 fingers was also selected. Although this man's hands were crippled, they were extremely agile. All day long he muttered about the Mo family's mechanism techniques. Eventually I had selected all 50 people, but standing before me was not a formidable army, but a rabble of broken soldiers and disgraced officers. Old blind man, what do you think of this squad? A bunch of scum taking this lot out. It won't even be enough for them to fill their teeth. Scum is exactly what we need. Decent people die very quickly on the battlefield. Only scum are like weeds. No matter how you trample them, they cannot be eradicated. Listen closely, all of you. I know exactly what kind of people you are. Outside, you are trash, degenerates, and rats in the street. But with me, you are my soldiers. I do not care what you did before, nor do I care what you think. In my squad, there is only one rule. Obey, and you will have meat to eat. Disobey, and even death will be a luxury. Having said that, I told this bunch of scum to wait in place, while I led old blind man and Ah Ba to the logistics department. But we went there not to ask for equipment, but to see if there were any discarded materials that nobody wanted. Escort Captain Chi Hu. Have you just arrived? Take these. These are your equipment. Is this all there is? How battered is this blade? Take it if you want. Otherwise, get lost. Fierce fire oil. A broken earthenware jar containing vital liquid. Senior. Surely no one needs that pile of dilapidated items, right? Is that just waste material? Ready to be discarded? You beggars, do you even wish to pick up such refuse? We will have old blind man call his brethren to carry all of this away. Additionally, go to Zhang Mozi's place and borrow a few old horses. Why do we need those playthings? We are the Crimson Scouts. Just use horses to push the tricycles. That is correct. Won't the barbarians simply slaughter us like that? Who said we were going scouting? We are going fishing. I knew well that 20 miles ahead lay an enemy cavalry ambush, yet I still led my subordinates covertly, carrying no equipment whatsoever. Squad leader Zhao, 2 distances ahead, I hear the sound of horse hooves. From the commotion, it appears to be about 20 cavalry, guards of the barbarian army. The barbarian guards are all elites among elites. Though there are merely 20 cavalry, we estimate that a mere encounter would be enough for them to rout us. Yet I felt no fear, for the primary reason lay concealed within those earthenware jars of oil, hidden beneath the dry reeds. Old Huang, retrieve 10 of those specially prepared earthenware jars you crafted. Carpenter Daz, you wield your slingshot. Later, you must launch the earthenware jars promptly. Ah Ba, you have endured the most hardship. Later, when the barbarians arrive, you are to stand directly in the middle of this road. Would that not make me a living target? Indeed, precisely a living target. This piece of meat is for you. Remember this well. You must project an air of extreme arrogance, utterly despising them. And what of us? As for us, we, naturally, are already dead. It was precisely as I had predicted. An hour later, a small squad of barbarian skirmishers appeared ahead, furtively observing us from the shadows. Initially, they were exceptionally cautious. However, upon witnessing a burly man, as colossal as an ox, standing boldly in the middle of the road, voraciously tearing at dried beef, while dozens of great Qian soldiers lay sprawled haphazardly beside him, clad in tattered rags, with several jars of wine even strewn around them, they immediately comprehended the entire situation. Captain, this is merely a band of drunkards or deserters. This is a veritable bounty of military merits and slaves, delivering themselves directly to our doorstep. The great Qian army truly was rotten to its very core. Brothers, charge! Capture that large fellow alive to be brought back as a laborer. As for the rest, cut them all down. That fellow sitting in the carriage, strip the leather armor from him, and bring it to me. Almost there. 100 paces, 50 paces, 30 paces. Ignite. This was not some precise attack, but purely a display of his overwhelming power. Furthermore, this flame fundamentally could not be extinguished by the snow on the ground, because inside the ceramic jar, there was not only fierce fire oil, but Elder Huang had also mixed in white phosphorus powder, sulfur, and quicklime. Using snow to extinguish it would, on the contrary, make it burn even more intensely. This is the first lesson I teach you. Chemical warfare. The snowstorm gradually subsided, but on this snowfield before Ghost Weeping Ridge, the heat had yet to dissipate. Those 20 arrogant barbarian cavalry scouts had been burned alive by this hellish formula from modern times. Are you finished speaking? If you're done speaking, then get to work. You are a thief. I don't need to teach you about looting, do I? Elder Zhao, like this. What else is there to loot? It's all burned to charcoal now. Burning means cooked meat, yes. Surely you're not afraid to try? And those horses too. Besides those burned to death, the rest, terrified, scattered and ran, and Ah Ba has already gone to chase them. Tonight, will we get to eat stewed horse meat? It all depends on whether your hands and feet are nimble. Upon hearing the 3 words stewed horse meat, the surrounding disciples, who were originally still wearing expressions of horror, their eyes immediately flashed with a green light. They all surged forward simultaneously, rummaging through the corpses, even fighting amongst themselves, pushing and shoving to snatch a curved saber that had not been completely burned away. These people before my eyes truly were a pack of mad dogs. Mad dogs are easy to use, but mad dogs can also easily turn and bite their master. One must establish rules for them, one must feed them meat, and one must also put chains around their necks. Elder Huang, Elder Zhao has instructed that over there, a decurion is not quite dead yet. Go ask him where their main force is. How many men does Nan truly have this time? You know how to ask, don't you? Elder Xiao, rest assured. I have treated dying men before, but I also possess the skill to make people wish they could live or die, yet be unable to do either. As long as he still has a single breath, I can make him confess how many times he wet his bed as a child. He will spill everything. Don't be so dramatic. You're giving me a headache. Captain, he has confessed. These men are the vanguard of the Black Wolf Division. A total of 3,000 individuals have bypassed the main defensive line of Huotu City, preparing to ambush the supply route at the rear, Duanyai Pass. These 20 individuals were merely scouting the path. Duanyai Pass. Duanyai Pass is the lifeline of Huotu City. Once that place is cut off, the 20,000 northern garrison troops on the front lines will have their supplies severed. At that point, the barbarians won't even need to attack. That alone will be enough to cause their demise. Once Huotu City falls, there's a high probability I will also be captured by the barbarian army. Unacceptable. We must act now. Everyone, come over here and stand at attention for me. You all performed quite well in today's battle. But according to the rules of the penal battalion, all items in your possession must be handed over, after which they will reward us with a few black steamed buns. But in my squad, Jiangting's squad, I set the rules. Tonight, eat your fill of horse meat. From the horses, we'll craft a pair of boots for each of you, and the silver spoils will be divided equally. Once we return to the city, I will find a way to get you wine and women. Captain, this is not in accordance with the rules. This is a capital offense. If the War Inspectorate were to find out. The War Inspectorate? On this desolate land, I am the rules. However, if anyone fails to abide by my rules, or lets even half a word about today's events slip out. Old Huang, do you still have any of your medicinal powder left? I have plenty. That medicine, if ingested, will not kill a person, but their flesh will rot away, bit by bit. It will make you wish to scratch down to your very bones and marrow. Is that clear? It is clear. The replies rang out uniformly. These mad dogs of mine, driven by both the lure of reward and the threat of punishment, they are finally willing to bow their heads and accept a seemingly frail scholar like me as their master. Captain, let's retreat. Retreat? Nonsense. Did you not hear what old Huang said? The barbarian army intends to ambush Duanyai Pass. If we were to return now, those high-ranking officials of the regular army are surely shirking their responsibilities again. By the time they finally mobilize, the supply route would have long been severed. Then, shall we proceed to the ravine? With just this handful of us, it would be no different than sacrificing our lives. That is an army of 3,000 barbarians. We will not fight. Our duty as reconnaissance scouts is merely to deliver the message, but merely delivering a normal message. Those high-ranking officials might not believe us. We must present a grand gift. Ground rat, bring out the barbarian banners. We will dress scarecrows and tie them behind our horses. We shall stage a grand play. End swiftly. Open the gates. Quickly open the gates. We are reconnaissance scouts from the vanguard camp. The great barbarian army has attacked. Do you hear me? Open the gates quickly. Stop. The password. To hell with your password. Can't you see the barbarians behind us? My brothers are all slaughtered. That is the main force of the Black Wolf tribe. Quickly let me in to report the news. If you delay this military report, General Li will have your head. It is the banner of the Black Wolf tribe. Could it be that the intelligence report was true? The commander of 1,000 men looked at the severed head, then at the dust billowing across the distant horizon, and the faint shouts echoing back, and immediately had no further doubts. But little did he know that billowing smoke was created by me, ordering men to tie tree branches to horses' tails and drag them. As for those sounds, they were produced by old Blindy leading men to beat gongs and drums from behind. Open the gates! Quickly let them in to prepare for the enemy. Water! Give me water! Brother, what is the situation ahead? How many barbarians are there? Too many. Far too many. The mountains are swarming with them. They intend to burn the provisions. Quickly, light the beacon fires to alert General Li. If we delay, all will be lost. Quickly light the beacon towers. Request reinforcements from the main camp. At the commander of 1,000 men's cold command, the 3 beacon towers at the ravine immediately sent thick plumes of smoke curling skyward, causing my lips to curl into a triumphant smile. Once these beacon fires are lit, the entire northern border defense line will mobilize. Li Muqi's grand army will immediately reinforce this location. If Manding's 3,000-man ambush force dares to show their faces, they will be annihilated in the blink of an eye. This is fundamentally no report at all. This is a textbook standard display of spreading false military orders, combined with luring others into a trap. Commander Zhao, if we proceed like this, then so be it if we are investigated. By the time they investigate, we will already be heroes who have achieved merits and saved lives. Moreover, tonight's dinner will also be taken care of. I heard the food at Danyaiku is not bad. They even have meat-filled buns. Your Excellency, please grant us some food. Brothers, for the past 3 days, we haven't seen a single grain of food. Those who serve will not perish prematurely. Eat to your heart's content. Meat-filled buns, eat to your heart's content. Attendants, bring out all the wine from the storehouse, so our comrades can eat well and drink heartily. Is this truly permissible? While we feasted, the city walls at this very moment had fallen into utter chaos. Just as I predicted, the 3,000 vanguard troops of the Black Wolf tribe had truly arrived. Originally, they intended to launch a surprise attack under the cover of night, but before they could even advance, they already saw towering beacon fires and the city defenders arrayed in battle formation, awaiting the enemy. But the leader of the Black Wolf tribe was an impetuous individual. Seeing that the city defenders of Danyaiku numbered less than 800, he resolved to attack. Commander Zhao, are we truly not ascending? What purpose would that serve? To become cannon fodder? But Lao Huang, have you eaten your fill yet? Yes, I have. Good. The time has come. Let us get to work. So our task finally involves charging forward? Not exactly charging forward. The wind is currently blowing from our position towards the valley entrance. It is a favorable wind. Let us not waste it. Officer Xiao, you intend to use that unburnt hay cart, push it to the city gate, and bring out all the hides you've hidden at the bottom of your hoard. Especially, what is this thing called Bo Duan Cheng Kao? And also those sulfur chili powders. I command you to bring as much as you have. Not long after, inside the city gate, a mountain of hay and small corpses had piled up. At this moment, the battle on the city wall had reached its most critical juncture. The man army was too ferocious. Dozens of warriors from other tribes had already climbed onto the city wall, engaging in close-quarters combat with the city defenders. That commander, his entire body drenched in blood, was desperately resisting, seeing that he could no longer hold out. Quickly go invite that scout captain. Tell him to bring reinforcements here quickly. Understood? I'll go immediately. Report, my lord, that Officer Zhao said he was too full to move, but he said he had prepared a dessert for the man army after their meal. Dessert? What kind of dessert? This old man is about to die. What dessert is there to eat? What in the world is this? So itchy. My lord, this is our chance. Shoot arrows! Shoot arrows! Oh, and also, bring some more meat buns here. I wasn't full just now. Archers, release your arrows. Shoot down these damn scoundrels. The reinforcements that arrived were General Limi's personal guard battalion. Li Muzi has arrived. He led 3,000 black armored cavalry, like a dark, raging flood, charging into the chaotic rear lines of the man army. In less than an hour, the battle concluded. He rode a tall, black-scaled warhorse and entered the gorge entrance, but his first priority was to find out where I was. I heard you impersonated a military order. General, what you said is not right. How can that be called impersonating a military order? I am merely a scout fulfilling my duty, predicting the enemy's movements, and using a slightly exaggerated method to attract the attention of our army. Slightly exaggerated? Why did you not inform me first? A wolf smoke signal for help means the city is about to fall. If I had not come, or arrived even one step late, do you know what crime you would be punished with according to the law? Extermination of 3 generations of your clan. And yet you still dared? I was certain you would come, General. Furthermore, I offer my own head in exchange for 2,000 elite troops of the Kelang tribe, along with the safe passage of the provisions at Donghua Pass. Does the General consider this transaction a loss? From the horse trap at the death row camp, to the poison smoke at Donghua Pass, and finally to this daring act of deceiving the lords with signal fires, this man is ruthless enough, bold enough, and scheming enough. I will not execute you, nor will I punish you, but do not even think about slacking off here any longer. Pack your belongings, and bring your 50 scoundrels back to the main camp with me. As of today, your status as a death row convict is revoked. You shall serve as my military strategist. It just so happens I am in need of a calculating, sharp-witted villain. Chief, we've been promoted. Promoted, my ass. We have been targeted by a major capitalist. From now on, I am afraid we will have to work like horses and oxen at his beck and call. A major capitalist. Now this is the true taste of survival. Squad leader. No. Now you should be called Strategist Jiang. Tell me, what exactly does General Liai mean by this? He appointed you as a strategist, yet he didn't give you a proper official seal. Giving you nothing but a tattered tent and this tub of hot water? What the hell do you know? This tub of hot water is worth far more than an official seal. This proves that in Li Muzi's eyes, I am one of his inner circle. Someone close enough to share a house behind closed doors. If he had actually given me that official seal and forced me to mingle with those arrogant generals who hold their heads higher than the heavens, that would be true suffering. But just now, when I went to collect the supplies, I heard those personal guards saying that the eunuch army supervisor, sent by the imperial court, Eunuch Liu, is flying into a rage in the central command tent, demanding punishment for our act of deceiving the lords with signal fires. He even wants to behead you and hang your head on the flagpole. Eunuch Liu. The reason the Dagon dynasty is so corrupt is half due to a fatuous emperor, and the other half due to these eunuchs, completely useless in battle, yet second to none in extortion and internal strife. General Li. Do you treat my words as a mere breeze passing by your ears? That death row prisoner Jiang Ding falsely reported military intelligence and lit the signal fires, causing the entire army to move recklessly and waste precious provisions for nothing. According to the laws of Dagon, this is a capital offense punishable by decapitation without pardon. Not only did you fail to execute him, but you even appointed him as a strategist? What is the meaning of this? Is this Zhenbei army the private force of your Li family? Eunuch Liu speaks too harshly. Although Jiang Ding's methods were somewhat extreme, not only did he secure the provisions at Donghua Pass, but he also wiped out all 2,000 elite troops of the Helang tribe. His merits offset his faults, and his achievements even outweigh his crimes. When employing people, I look only at ability, not background. The ability of a scoundrel and rogue who only knows how to use base tricks like poison smoke can also be called ability. This family heard that at Donghua Pass, he even embezzled the spoils of war, and even forced the garrison soldiers to make meat buns for him to eat. If such a rogue soldier who disregards the military banner is heavily employed, where does the imperial court's face go? Where is the majesty of his majesty? Face? Lord, this is the northern frontier, a flashing human burial pit. Face cannot block the scimitars of the barbarian army, nor can it trade for peace for the common people. If we can win the battle, let alone a rogue soldier, even if it were a dog, I would treat it with utmost reverence. Fine, very fine, Li Muzi. What you are doing is relying on your troops to act willfully, and this family will definitely submit a memorial to impeach you. If I may interrupt for a moment, it sounded just now like someone called me a dog. Well, this person dressed in vibrant red looks just like a lucky red envelope. You must be the legendary Eunuch Liu. Bold! When seeing the supervising army lord, why do you not kneel? My knees have an illness. I can kneel to heaven and earth and kneel to my parents, but I cannot kneel to someone without a root. That illness needs to be cured. It is a pity there is no medicine here. Who are you saying has no root? Whoever admits to it is the one being spoken of. Besides, didn't the eunuch just say he wanted to behead me? If I were to wait for you, wouldn't I be acting too subservient? Men! Seize him for me. Chop him into 100 pieces. Enough. The military strategist was invited here by me to discuss official matters. If you are feeling unwell, you may return to your tent to rest first. Very well, very good. General Leah, this debt has been recorded by this family. I hope that when the barbarian main army arrives, this strategizing military advisor with such great ability can still manage to smile. Incredible. Strategist Jiang, I admire you to the ground. That scolding felt truly exhilarating. Exhilarating it may be, but the trouble is also massive now. Liu Jin has a narrow mind and holds grudges. What if he cuts off our winter clothing and provisions? Did scolding him feel good? It was all right. About 7 parts out of 10. General, scolding him was not merely to vent our anger, but to chase him away. What comes next is not convenient for him to hear. Speak. All the generals are worried about the main force of the Helang tribe, but in my view, The Helang tribe is merely a mad dog. The true hunter is right here. Those 3,000 men of the Helang tribe's Golden Tent Royal Court spared no effort to take a long detour just to raid Donghua Pass. Was it truly for the provisions? No, they were after something else. The echo. The echo. Once Donghua Pass is attacked, and the signal fires rise, the general will undoubtedly divide the troops to provide rescue. And once the main army is divided, the 50,000 elite cavalry of the Golden Tent Royal Court will take advantage of the thick ice to ride directly across the river, piercing straight into the heart of the main camp. That is impossible. Although the Heishui River has frozen over, the ice layer is not thick at all. It fundamentally cannot bear the weight of a large charging cavalry unit. The barbarians are not fools. Why would they take such a risk? This is what I found on that squad leader. This grade of gold is not something a poor tribe like the Helang can possess. This is a reward from the Golden Tent Royal Court. Before dying, that squad leader confessed. This time when they traveled south, the hooves of every horse were wrapped with a thick layer of felt. At first I thought it was to muffle sound for a sneak attack, but later I realized that wrapping them in felt is not only to muffle sound, but also to increase friction and distribute pressure. Coupled with the heavy snowfall these past 2 days, the surface of the ice will freeze even harder than stone. 50,000 heavy cavalry, with felt-wrapped hooves charging across the ice. There will be no sound of hooves, no tremors. By the time you hear the sound of horseshoes, the blades will already be at your necks. Are you certain? I am 90% certain. If you already knew their plan, why did you light the beacon tower, luring me there? Do you not realize the consequences? I do. But I possess a superior strategy to counter them. But it is too late now to deploy troops to the riverbank for defense. Furthermore, if the barbarians do not arrive, and our main force moves, the front line will be left undefended. Thus, we cannot dispatch troops. If they intend to cross the frozen river, then let us invite them in. Invite them in. Precisely. Water can support a boat, but it can also capsize it. Ice can allow passage, but it can also swallow people whole. I require 3,000 green jars, 500 carts of dried firewood, and all the fine wine from Eunuch Liu's tent from earlier. Approved. Relay the command to the entire army. Obeying the command of Jiang Tajun, the north gate of Great Qian Lake is just on the other bank. In just another moment, countless gold, silver, jewels, and beautiful women will be ours for the taking. What a pity. A pity for what? What a pity. Eunuch Liu's dozens of 100-year-aged jars of daughter's red wine. And now, it has all been poured into the ice holes for the fish to feast upon. Are you sure this will work? The ice is 3 chi thick. If it fails to explode, our heads will be hanging in the Golden Tent King's camp tomorrow. General, this is called science. Why does the wind carry the scent of wine? Initiate the assault. We have been discovered. HMPH. So what if my 50,000 strong army has been discovered? Those elite warriors thought their arrows could not pierce our armor. But they never expected that I deliberately ordered my men to shoot at the ice holes, the very holes I had commanded to be pre-drilled. At the same time, I had men pour that pile of tribute wine, mixed with fierce fire oil and quicklime. Pour it all down. The wine and oil will flow beneath the ice layer. Once ignited, the principle of thermal expansion and contraction will create immense pressure from within the ice layer, compounded by the heat generated when quicklime reacts with water. This river surface may appear solid now, but in reality, its interior has long been shattered like a crumbling biscuit. What kind of fire is this? It is burning right within the ice? By the heavens, this is magic. Unleash arrows. But do not strike the horses. The horses are quite delicious. If they drown, so be it. But to shoot them to pieces now would be a terrible waste. Is this truly the art of war for the indolent, as you describe? This is known as asymmetrical warfare. If one can use intellect in battle, there is no need for physical engagement. Sir, observe. We have not lost a single soldier. This battle has concluded. All that remains is to recover the fallen and their equipment. Excellent. An excellent asymmetrical attack. Well done, Jiangding. Thanks to this campaign, our northern garrison army will be able to safeguard the northern borders for the next 30 years. For military advisor Jiang's meritorious service, this general shall personally request imperial rewards on your behalf. Imperial rewards? For a corrupt court, a general with such immense merit has never truly been fortunate, especially for Li Muqi. A powerful official, wielding formidable military authority. This grand victory might very well prove to be his death warrant. Never mind. Li Muqi currently remains a loyal minister dedicated to the nation. Certain words are futile to speak. He must face the consequences himself to truly comprehend. Approximately an hour later, the battle had completely concluded. On the Blackwater River, countless bodies of men and warhorses floated. Of the 50,000-strong army, a small contingent, realizing the dire situation, fled back to the grasslands. However, over 30,000 men were left to become food for the fish. This was an unprecedented grand victory since the founding of the Great Qian dynasty. When the news reached the main encampment, everyone was ecstatic. One by one, they rushed out of their tents, gazing at the still burning fires in the distance, speaking incoherently in their excitement. However, there was one exception. Victory! We have won! My lord, congratulations! General Li has sent someone to deliver the war trophies, claiming it is payment for your wine. What war trophies? This is the head of Zhuo Xianwang, from the Golden Tent Royal Court. The wine is excellent, and the head is a prized one. With this transaction, eunuch, you have certainly not suffered a loss. 30 jars of wine, exchanged for the head of Zhuo Xianwang. Report this military achievement to the higher authorities. Even I, the military supervisor, have gained a significant merit. Yet, why does a chill run down my neck? That Jiangding truly possesses some skill. Since we have already offended him, then we must devise a way to eliminate him first. And then there is that Li Muqi. With such a monumental victory, his prestige will undoubtedly shine like the midday sun. By then, could your majesty still remain calm? Hey, do not discard that saddle. It is made from rhinoceros hide. It is quite aged. You rat, you scoundrel, do not pull so hard on that barbarian's golden belt. If torn off, it would be worthless. General, this person is exceedingly greedy. Moreover, his actions know no bounds. Although we have won this battle, if he gains power in the future, being greedy for wealth and pleasure, those are flaws he intentionally reveals to others. If he were truly without desires or ambitions, that would be truly terrifying. Issue the command for the entire army to build pontoon bridges and cross the river. While the barbarian army is terrified, raise their Golden Tent Royal Court for me. I want to use the head of that barbarian king to secure 30 years of peace for Great Gan. We've struck it rich. Good heavens, we've truly struck it rich. How many live horses are left? Around several hundred, and all of them are excellent horses. If sold on the black market, they could fetch at least tens of thousands of silver taels. Is that all the potential profit? These horses are our lifeline. No amount of money will make us sell them. Our scout cavalry must be expanded in the future. How can we achieve that without horses? Expand the military's establishment. General, didn't you only allocate us 50 quotas? A quota is merely a quota. But people are living beings. Oh, isn't this the Jiangtang army? Last night's battle was truly earth-shattering. The Jiangtang army's divine strategy and foresight burned down the Allied camps. This battle is sufficient to be recorded in the annals of history. Cease with these empty words. Why have you come? Just speak frankly. Heh. Military advisor Jiang. These are the regulations. The battlefield has been cleared. All spoils of war must be submitted to the public coffers, to be uniformly inventoried and stored by the quartermaster's office. You see, I have even brought the carriages here. Let them dare. This is military regulation. Military advisor Jiang, though you have achieved great merit, but secretly keeping the spoils of war is a capital offense. If Inspector Liu were to learn of this matter, I never said it couldn't be done. So what does military advisor Jiang mean? But these things, once stored, will only rot away in the storeroom, or perhaps they will be smuggled out and sold by your people. Why don't we make a deal instead? You can take half of this. I do not care how you handle it, but I want to exchange it for 3 things. Enough refined grain to feed 500 people for half a year, 1,000 caddies of top-grade iron, and I know there are quite a few craftsmen in the death row and forced labor camps. Allow me to select several hundred people, and give me their indentures. Military advisor Jiang, you are making an exorbitant demand. The grain is one thing, but that iron, and those people. Within that half of the war spoils is the evil sage king's personal seal, made of dragon gold. If that item were melted down, no one would know what it originally was. Military advisor Jiang, you are indeed a straightforward man to deal with. However, for that iron, I can only report it as consumed during battle. You must remember to back me up on this. Military advisor, so many valuable items. Just to exchange for a small amount of grain and that iron? Wouldn't that be too great a loss? A loss? The Great Gang Dynasty's realm is on the verge of great chaos. At that time, holding gold will only lead to being robbed. Only with a blade in hand and grain in one's belly will others grant you respect. Military advisor Jiang, General Li requests your presence. Another invitation already. What is the matter? People from the capital have arrived. It's not just an ordinary eunuch delivering a decree, it's someone from the Embroidered Uniform Guard. The Embroidered Uniform Guard of the Great Gan Dynasty is the hawk and hound of imperial authority, the nightmare of all civil and military officials, and the common people. They obey only the emperor's command, and possess the authority to act first, and report later. Do you know why they have come? Military advisor. They departed half a month ago. Hearing the tone of the leading heavenly guard, they had brought an imperial edict to rectify military affairs. Rectifying military affairs? This means the imperial court intends to make a move against Li Muji. How interesting. Let's go. Esteemed guests from the imperial capital have traveled a great distance to rectify matters. We must certainly go and meet them. I want to see for myself. Facing these barbarian corpses piled up everywhere, will they still have the nerve to read out their imperial edict of condemnation? Li Muji, receive the edict. Read it. An iPhone. How unsightly. But it doesn't matter. After you hear this imperial decree, I'll see if you can still keep that iPhone. By the mandate of heaven, the emperor decrees. Garrison General of the North, Li Muji, was commanded to guard the border. Yet he became arrogant due to his military power and feared the enemy like a tiger. For over a month he watched barbarian troops wreak havoc at the border, yet dared not engage. The supply routes to the northern region have been cut off, and the populace is plunged into misery. We are deeply pained by this. Therefore, Li Muji is hereby dismissed from his post as Garrison General of the North, his military seal is recalled, and he is to be escorted back to the capital for judgment. Why have you not yet received this decree? General Lai. Defying an imperial edict is a grave crime punishable by the extermination of your 3 clans. Although my contingent of embroidered uniform guards brought this time is not large, have you carefully considered the weight of this imperial edict? And what if I simply choose not to consider it carefully? Who are you, to dare to be disrespectful before an imperial censor? Does it matter who I am? General, these melon seeds are a bit stale. Next time, tell Quartermaster Zhang Ku to add a little more. The flying fish robe, and the embroidered spring blade. Trisk, trisk, what an impressive presence. However, this mind of yours does not seem to be particularly sharp, utterly presumptuous. Zhao Tianhu, am I right? That thing you just recited, if it were from half a month ago, perhaps it would still hold some reason. But now? Who are you to dare presumptuously criticize an imperial edict? It is true that Li Muji was afraid, and dared not fight. It is true that the supply routes to the northern region were cut off. So what? It is true that you all wish to rebel. Where are the men? Open it. This is indeed Xianxia King Ying of the Golden Tent Royal Court. Last night he was at the Blackwater River, intending to cross it for a late-night meal. Unexpectedly he slipped and fell into an ice pit, perishing. And, as an added bonus, 30,000 elite iron cavalry under his command were buried with him. Impossible! 30,000 elite troops? By your underfed and horse-deprived northern border army? You are truly speaking nonsense. This must be some death row convict you found to impersonate him. Impersonating? Eunuch Liu, do not feign death in the corner any longer. You are the imperial supervisor. What does Xianxia King's head look like? You should be the one who knows best, right? This is exactly what was acquired with your fine wine last night. Will you not come out to inspect the goods? Zhao Qianhu is here. This is indeed the severed head of our Xianxia King. It was personally examined and verified last night. So it was truly Xianxia King who annihilated 30,000 main troops. Then what about this imperial decree? In last night's battle, our soldiers filled the Blackwater River with their lives, Only then did we secure peace for this northern border. Yet, the imperial capital did not send a single grain of food. Instead, it sent this imperial decree demanding my head. Zhao Qianhu, do you think I should accept this imperial decree? Will the soldiers throughout this camp agree? General Lai, do not be angry. If the military situation has changed, then I will naturally return to the capital to report the truth. But this imperial decree... Oh, my hand slipped. But if this imperial decree is already wrong, then burning it is merely burning it, sparing His Majesty the trouble of seeing it again and feeling more vexed. Don't you agree? General Li manages his army with effective methods. I am truly impressed. Today, I will definitely report all the details of this matter to His Majesty clearly. Should our military advisor, there's no rush. It will take at least half a month for General Wuji to return to the capital. This half a month is enough for us to accomplish many things. For example, to transform this charge of insubordination into a public declaration demanding the general's removal, a declaration that no outsider could possibly ignore or fail to exploit. We must make His Majesty in the capital understand that if this northern border lacks Li Muzhi, it will immediately become a grazing ground for barbarian cavalry. Only by instilling fear in him will he dare not act against us. Transmit orders to the entire army, rest and reorganize for one day. Tomorrow, we cross the river. I want to, before Zhao Wuji returns to the capital, deliver the royal banner of the Golden Tent Royal Court onto His Majesty's imperial desk. Then I will go back to sleep first. Oh right. It seems there are still a few decent fox fur robes in eunuch Liu's tent. I'll go get them to help the general brave the cold. After Zhao Wuji, the plague god, and his group departed, the atmosphere in the Northern Suppression Army's main camp became far more nuanced. Those regular officers who originally held me in some disdain now carried a degree of awe and respect in their gazes. However, I had no time to pay attention to others' eyes, because I was busy recruiting. Just like last time, I recruited a group of dregs, adding them to the 50 men from before, perfectly forming a 500-man encampment. Over the next 3 days, I took out blueprints, had carpenters build several hundred snow sleds, and several hundred divine crossbows. I had newly recruited blacksmiths forge barbed arrows, and instructed old Huang to apply potent venom to their tips. Everything was ready. By the evening of the third day, Li Muzhi arrived at my encampment. Seeing this rabble lying prostrate in the snow, he was utterly dumbfounded. Are these your soldiers? Is this how you train troops? Do you make them lie prostrate on the snow, waiting for the enemy to fall? General, even if this rabble were to stand, they could not hope to defeat the well-equipped barbarian army. Having them lie prostrate is the best tactic. What do you intend to do? Tomorrow, we must cross the river. Although the Golden Tent Royal Court has lost its left-worthy king, it still possesses tens of thousands of elite cavalry. A direct frontal assault would undoubtedly meet fierce resistance. Therefore, I wish to take a different path. Which path? We will not cross the pontoon bridge. Instead, we will bypass it and circle around to the Golden Tent Royal Court's vast rear, the Valley of Death Ice. That is a forbidden land where the floating snow never melts year-round. Furthermore, the terrain is treacherous, and warhorses fundamentally cannot pass through. Warhorses cannot pass, but we can. This is precisely why I train them to lie prostrate, to utilize special equipment to raid the vast rear. That place is their horse breeding ground, and also where they house their elderly, children, women, and provisions. What do you intend to do? That place has no army, only civilians. I wish to help the general do some dirty work, to burn their winter provisions and slaughter their cattle and sheep. I want to ensure that this grassland, for the next 10 years, will not be able to sustain even a single warhorse. Such an act violates the heavenly Tao. The heavenly Tao? I, Jiang Ting, was originally a rogue, a reprobate. Let this eternal infamy be borne by me. But General, can you agree to one request? Speak. When I return, even if I bear eternal infamy, even if all under heaven wish for my demise, can the general still grant me sanctuary? The gate of this Northguard army will forever be open for you. Who dares touch you? They must first face the blade in my hand. This vessel is truly miraculous. In this place where even birds cannot fly across, we can actually move so swiftly. All these marvels are confounding this old man. Hehe, you soldier, just bear with it a little longer. Ahead lies Eagle's Beak Cliff. We'll have to leap ahead. Hold on tight! Everyone, halt for this old man. Ah. Confound it, quickly, pull me out. Let me go ahead and take a look. Heavens! How many cattle must there be here? Just counting the herd of black cattle over there, there must be at least tens of thousands. If we brought these back to Great Gan and sold them, how much silver would we exchange them for? That silver is the lifeblood of the barbarian army. Today we have come not to plunder riches, but to sever their very lifelines. Military advisor, over there, it seems there are quite a few women and children. We have brought so much lamp oil and poison. If a single spark ignites this, these people will surely not survive. Ironhead, your metalworking skills are quite good. But this unit of mine does not only need blacksmiths, it also needs you all to know how to obey orders. You are a good person. But will the barbarian army spare you? Once they are sated, next spring they will again ride our horses, wield our blades, slaughter our parents, and kidnap our women. In national war, there are only the dead and the living. If you wish to live, then you must turn your enemies into the dead, be they old or young. As long as they are of the barbarian tribes, they are our enemies. Is that clear to everyone? It is clear. That is how it should be. Elder Huang, where are your precious concoctions? Bring them forth for display. They are all here. This is the intestine-severing powder. This is the windfish powder. And this is a new concoction of liquid I have prepared. Just one drop in the animal wells within a 10-li radius, and any creature that drinks from it, within 3 days, they will all waste away from severe excretion until death. How utterly vicious, but I approve. Everyone, gather here and heed my command. All right, it is now the Shen hour, 2 double hours until nightfall. We shall divide and act. Aba, you shall lead 50 of our most skilled operatives to eliminate those 4 strongholds. Remember well, do not use blades. Use crossbows, and ensure every arrow is coated with Elder Huang's unique poison, the kind that causes them to waste away rapidly. Let no one escape with a single cry. Earthrat, you shall lead 100 men to locate all water sources. Every water source must be poisoned on my command. Furthermore, I observe numerous goat pens yonder. You are to open wide all the gates of the livestock pens. What was that powder near the pen gates again? The windfish powder. Precisely, the windfish powder. I wish for these hundreds of thousands of goats to break free and scatter wildly across the entire grassland. Carpenter, you are to lead your men to the dry grassland. Douse it thoroughly with the fierce fire oil. Await my signal, then set it ablaze in unison. The remaining forces shall follow me to the main encampment. We will bestow upon these barbarians a most profound gift, a blizzard they shall never forget, even decades from now. Shall we commence? What is the haste? Await Aba's signal. Excellent work. Begin the assault. In the dead of night, 200 individuals surged towards the cattle pens. But they were not there to rustle cattle. Instead, they quietly laid down countless spiked traps. Afterwards, they lit a gigantic, specially crafted red firecracker and hurled it directly into the center of the cattle pens. Tens of thousands of barbarian bulls instantly burst out of their enclosures. They frantically stampeded towards the exit, and then tragedy struck. The first few hundred bulls stepped on the spiked traps. The intense pain drove them mad. They wanted to stop, but the herd behind them could not possibly halt. Next, the desperate roars of the cattle instantly echoed throughout the entire grazing ground. But this was only the beginning. On the dry grasslands, heaven-reaching flames erupted simultaneously from all directions. These were flames enhanced with fierce fire oil and sulfur. As the wind blew, embers danced wildly across the sky, dyeing an entire area a vivid red, and the tribal camp immediately descended into utter chaos. The panicked cattle scattered wildly across the hills, ramming into fire pits, setting even more tents ablaze. Meanwhile, by the water source, those who rushed to fetch water to douse the flames, after taking a single sip, began to clutch their stomachs and writhe on the ground. Frothing at the mouth, the barbarian chieftain rushed out, gripping his saber. Witnessing the scene before him, his entire body froze, for he saw no enemy, only a landscape akin to purgatory. This accursed weather truly seeks to claim my old life. Military advisor, this time we have struck it rich. Just counting the gold, silver and jewels that our brothers have plundered, it must be at least 2,000 taels of silver. When we return, can we monopolize the entire red courtesan house? Fortune. This money cannot be touched. We must first upgrade our equipment. One must sharpen their tools if they wish to do their work well. Understood? Understood. Understood. Military advisor is a learned man. Everything he says is reasonable. Military advisor, we have a situation. At the entrance of the mountain valley, 3 miles ahead, there is a contingent of people heading north. Judging by the wagon tracks, they are very deep, indicating heavily laden carts. Heading north? The main force of the barbarians is in the south. To the north lies the Arctic ice plain. Are they seeking death there? I also find it strange. Moreover, that contingent is not large, only around 100 people. But their rearguard is exceptionally formidable, are clad in black armor, wielding crescent sabers. Judging by their demeanor, they resemble the GG army. The GG army, the personal guard of Han King Jinzhong. Every single one is a warrior chosen from 10,000, renowned as the crescent sabers of Changsheng Tian. Normally, troops of this caliber only guard around the royal tent. Why would they appear in such a wild and desolate place? Furthermore, they are escorting a group, heading north. Interesting. In such severe weather, with the twin mountains blocked, instead of staying in their warm tents, they insist on rushing out onto the icy plains. Before they knew the south had been defeated, and the remnants of their forces were also burned to ashes, they must have felt this place was no longer safe, so they decided to take their fortune and flee. How much gold must this fortune contain to warrant an escort by iron cavalry? Let's go take a look. If it is truly a fat sheep, we might as well slaughter it. This could also be considered drawing an end to this spring outing. Damn it! The canopy of this carriage is entirely clad in bronze. This is hardly fleeing from disaster. This is more like an emperor on an incognito tour. The emblem of the Golden Horde royal family. Old blind man, tell me, how many sons does the Khan king of the barbarian tribe have? Who could possibly know that? I heard that old man sires sons like a stallion, even dozens of them. But whoever uses this type of carriage is certainly one of his most favored children. Then this time, we have stumbled upon a great fortune. Prepare the divine arbalests. Shoot them all dead for me, but don't kill the horses. They are all excellent steeds. 100 improved divine arbalests fired simultaneously. Horrific screams instantly echoed. When more than half of the escorting elite cavalry were killed or wounded, yet still could not detect where the enemy was, they could only quickly narrow their formation, tightly guarding the largest carriage in the center. Who goes there? How dare you ambush the royal family's carriage? You are merely courting death. A fierce battle erupted, and I observed the battlefield from afar. Originally, the elite cavalry had only about 100 men, and right from the start, 50 to 60 of them were shot dead. Combined with the effects of its poison, they fundamentally had no strength to resist my 500 good-for-nothing troops. Very quickly, they were entirely annihilated. At this moment, only that golden carriage remained standing, isolated on the entire battlefield. Come out! Don't make this old man have to take action against you. This old man strikes very hard. It wouldn't be good if I accidentally injured you. Ah bah, flip open the roof of that carriage for me. Who are you? I am Ansi. I am none other than the son of Han Wang Jinzheng. You lowly bandits, do you dare to lay a single finger on me? My royal father will flay you alive and turn your skins into drumheads. This one truly is a prince. How much is this fellow worth? This is not money. This is a key that can unlock the gates of the Jinzhong royal court, and can even help our General Li secure his position in the northern region. You all, gather every valuable item here. Now, quickly bind this brat. Let's go home. You scoundrel, the day will come when I will make you fall. Very well. I shall wait. Hey. Tell me, where did General Jiang Shengjun lead those 500 death-seeking warriors? He has been missing for 3 days now. Could it be that he perished outside? Highly likely that General Jiang Shengjun, though his personality is a bit unconventional, He is still someone who knows how to win battles. If he truly lost his life, then this northern region would be lacking another ruthless individual. Something is amiss. Be on your guard. That is General Jiang Shengjun. General Lai, 3 days have passed. That Jiang Ding brazenly led 500 men out of the main camp, their whereabouts unknown. Our people heard that he went north. Could it be that he feared punishment and defected to the barbarian tribe? Zhao Tianhu. Mind your words carefully. General Jiang Shengjun went to execute a secret mission. It was by my command. What kind of mission requires 3 days? Furthermore, not even a single message was sent. The crime of shielding a subordinate and condoning desertion is not something you can bear. Zhao Tianhu. Your words truly bring ill omens. Why would you think so ill of me? You didn't desert, General? Fortunately, I did not fail the mission. It is good that I have returned. HMPH, what good is returning now? Jiang Ding, you arbitrarily abandoned your post for 3 days, and now you return empty-handed? Do you take General Ji's army as a jest? You claim to be on a mission. Now that it's complete, where is your battle trophy? You returned empty-handed? Let us present our New Year's spoils for Commander Tianhu to behold. This is... That is Jiuzhu. On the steppe, only those of the Han King's direct bloodline are qualified to wear the 9 eastern pearls. This is precisely the son most cherished by Han King Jinjiang, the future master of the steppe. His Royal Highness Prince Anshuna Tase. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could a prince of the Jinjiang royal house appear in this place? You must have arbitrarily captured a child of the Man tribe to impersonate him. I am Anshuna Tase. I am a descendant of Chengsheng Tian. Unlike you lowly southern folk, I will have my father hack you all into 10,000 pieces. I will take your skulls and fashion them into drinking goblets. Listen closely. Observe the boundless arrogance of this young whelp. Commander Tianhu, do you still wish to verify his authenticity? Or perhaps I should instruct old Huang to extract a vital sample from him, so you may ascertain if it truly bears the mark of royalty? How do you intend to deal with him? General, you may decide this matter, but I see him as a veritable gold mine. To waste such an asset would be a great pity. Thus, we must surely keep him alive and leverage him. We can sit down with that Han King and discuss matters of mutual benefit. Commander Zhao Tianhu, this time, upon your return to the capital, if you bear this armistice agreement, would that not be far more honorable than simply presenting a severed head? An armistice agreement? If, without expending a single soldier, we can compel the Man tribe army to retreat, then this is truly the meritorious deed of a sage. You are willing to relinquish this merit? We all serve His Majesty. What distinction can there be between your merits and mine? This individual was captured by me. But the merit of this negotiation surely belongs to Commander Zhao Tianhu. It is your eloquent speech, combined with the immense power of our forces, that truly intimidated the barbarians into retreat. However, there are the travel expenses incurred to capture this person, as well as the arduous compensation for my 500 subordinates. The Emperor's personal funds, which my faction brought this time, can allocate you 20,000 taels as an initial sum. Zhao Tianhu, are you treating this as alms for a beggar? That is the future Han Wang after all. It should be at least 50,000 taels. Furthermore, I want physical silver, not banknotes. 50,000 taels is acceptable, but he must be escorted by my men. That will not do. You must remain with the esteemed Zhenbei army. This is my absolute bottom line. Why? If entrusted to your escort back to the capital, the slightest disturbance along the way could cause him to waver. Barbarian assassins could mince him into a pile of mud, or upon arrival in the capital, the civil officials might deem him an ill omen and cage him as a pet. In either case, he would no longer hold any value. Zhao Tianhu, what you need is merit. What I need are practical benefits. What the general needs is a peaceful border. We take what we need. Why must we compete over a single head? You may keep him, but my name must be present on that ceasefire agreement. Agreed. Do you truly wish to negotiate peace with the Man barbarians? Given the current situation, we could fully capitalize on our victory and press on. General, a cornered dog will bite back. The Man tribesmen were severely defeated this time, but their core strength remains. Although our Zhenbei army has triumphed, we are like a crossbow that has lost its momentum. Our provisions are insufficient, our winter clothing lacking. To continue fighting would be to sacrifice the lives of our brethren. Furthermore, upon Zhao Wuji's return he will undoubtedly claim all the credit for himself. Doing so will lessen the imperial court's apprehension towards you by a significant margin. After all, a general skilled in warfare is formidable, but a general adept at negotiating peace is not perceived as such a great threat in the emperor's eyes. What we truly need is time. What do you intend to do? Grant me 1 year, and I can use these 50,000 taels of silver, along with this young prince, to transform this northern region into our own impregnable fortress. Very well, General. I must now retire to sleep. Oh, right. When those 50,000 taels of silver arrive, remember to send someone to deliver them to me. Should even a single tael be missing, I shall take issue with you. That scoundrel. The second day after Zhao Wuji's departure, 50,000 taels of pure silver were delivered to my ledger. I must admit, the efficiency of the embroidered uniform guard is truly remarkable. Coupled with the local specialties plundered from the grasslands earlier, I now hold a fortune of nearly 100,000 taels, leaving my brethren in a state of immense excitement. Adjutant, let us divide it amongst ourselves. With this sum of money, why should we continue serving as soldiers? Let each of us return home and become a wealthy lord, and take a few concubines. Would that not be truly delightful? After distributing the money, do you truly believe you can return home? Do you believe me? The moment you leave Limuji, before you even step out of the northern garrison of the embroidered uniform guard, they will be upon you. They will carve you up like a pig, forcing you to cough up every last bit of silver you have embezzled, principal and interest. I know full well that this money must be spent wisely. Only 100 taels will be distributed to each of our brothers. The rest will be used to upgrade our equipment or procure vital provisions. After all matters were settled, I suddenly remembered the young prince, a golden branch and jade leaf, still confined in a cage outside the tent. You despicable southern barbarian. Release me! My father's grand army is fast approaching. When they arrive, I will tear you into 100 pieces. Oh? Your spirit remains strong, I see. Do you wish to eat? I disdain to eat the pig slop of you southern barbarians. Pig slop? This is mutton from your very own grasslands, from the finest grazing lands. How is it that you do not even recognize food from your own homeland? Demon! You are a fiend. The eternal heaven will punish you. Enough. Cease your howling. If you desire revenge, if you wish to kill me, then first you must survive. If you starve to death, nothing else will matter. Of course, you are not worthy of such fine fare right now. This can still fill your stomach. Eat it or not, the choice is yours. Little one, do you hate me? HMPH. I wish to kill you. Excellent. Remember this hatred well. Your own brothers by now must surely wish you had perished out here. Should you die, the position of Prince of Han would then fall to them. Perhaps the reason you appeared on the other side of Mount Yinshan this time is precisely because someone deliberately revealed your whereabouts. What is it you are trying to imply? I mean this. If you wish to kill me, you must first ascend to the position of Prince of Han. But to become Prince of Han, you must first survive and return to the grasslands, and then possess enough power to eliminate all those brothers of yours. I can help you. I can even teach you. Teach me. Teach me what? Teach you how to become wicked? Teach you how to ruthlessly take lives without hesitation? Teach you how to gain the greatest benefits at the smallest cost? From this day forward, you are no longer a prince. You are my menial worker. You must feed the horses, pull the bellows at the forge, and wash dishes for the chef. You must learn to struggle in the mire. Learn to scavenge for food amidst piles of corpses until you learn the patience of a wolf and the cunning of a fox. I will set you free. By then, you shall lead your legions to retrieve me. Right. Do not discard that dark bun. There will be no other sustenance tonight. That is your only source of nourishment. Over the next half a month, the North Liang Red Mouth camp underwent a complete metamorphosis. With funds secured, I put 500 death row convicts through intensive training, concurrently instructing T2 to work day and night to improve their equipment, intending to forge them into a true special forces unit. As for that prince who was once so high and mighty, he truly became a humble servant in the camp. Before dawn, he had to get up to feed the horses, followed by a full day of performing various menial tasks. Initially, a few death row convicts tried to bully him, but this boy was ruthless enough to directly bite a chunk of their flesh. From then on, no one dared to treat him as a child any longer, and the news of his presence in my camp naturally spread to the outside world. Half a month later, Li Mutsi suddenly came to seek me. This time, his expression was graver than ever before. Zhang Ding. Something has happened. Has that old man Zhao Wuji returned to the capital to lodge a complaint? Not the capital, but Daichu. While we were engaged in a fierce struggle with the barbarian army, Daichu's naval forces suddenly blockaded the Huaijiang River, cutting off the southern trade route where we procure winter clothing and medicinal ingredients. Furthermore, they also sent a delegation of envoys led by Daichu's Zhao Zhaowang, and he brought 3 first-grade grandmasters with him. They demand that we hand over the barbarian prince, and also that we cede 3 Blackstone cities south of Duanyai Pass. Otherwise, they will not reopen the trade route. They demand both territory and a person? Good. Who said my imperial guards only know how to arrest people? Look at Commander Zhao. He penetrated the northern border alone. Relying only on his eloquent tongue, he not only intimidated the Grand Army of the Golden Tent Royal Court, but also brought back the barbarian tribes, surrender letter, all without losing a single soldier, lifting the siege on the northern border. This is truly my pillar and backbone, a crucial minister. Your Majesty is sagacious. This action by the imperial guards has brought glory to our nation's prestige. However, Li Muji is overly cautious with his troops. Though he is responsible for guarding the land, he lacks ambition. If not for Commander Zhao overseeing the battle, this northern border would still be nothing more than stagnant water. Yan Mai Khan speaks very reasonably. Therefore, summon Wu Ji for his arduous work and great merit, promote him to a golden rank. Formerly a commander of the imperial guards with equivalent authority. Li Muji, for his merit in holding the land, grant him the title Han Taibao, often inspecting and managing all matters for the suffering Han people in the northern border who have lost their homes. Furthermore, it is heard that Henan province suffered a great drought this year, with displaced people everywhere. Command the Ministry of Revenue to relocate all 100,000 displaced people from Henan province to Tigerhead City in the northern border for resettlement. Order Li Muzi to make thorough arrangements, ensuring the displaced people have clothes and food. If anyone dies of hunger or cold, I will hold him accountable. Li Muzi, since you refuse to hand over your military authority, I have other ways to deal with you. The northern border is already short on provisions. I shall add another 100,000 mouths to feed for you. Let's see how you manage this time. 100,000 displaced people. Zhao Zhen, you are truly ruthless. Military advisor Jiang, at a time like this, how can you still be in the mood for handicrafts? Plunder what? Isn't this a good thing? These are 100,000 laborers. What will you make them do? In this land covered in ice and snow, surely you cannot make them farm. I want to build a city here, called Bo Liang Workshop. Workshop? The barbarians' wool was previously all discarded, because it was too foul-smelling, and no one knew how to process it. But among my retinue, there is a man named Old Huang, who has a method to remove this stench. When these displaced people arrive, do not let them be idle. Men will build houses, dig coal, and forge iron. Women will wash wool, spin yarn, and make leather coats. We will use military provisions to exchange for their labor. General, try touching this. Is it warm? The cost of this item is less than 1 silver tau, but if transported to Great Chu in the south, sold to those cultured scholars who fear the cold, or transported to Great Jin in the west and sold to the nobility, it could fetch at least 10 taels. But this undertaking requires time. Moreover, it is true that military provisions are insufficient. By the time your workshop is built, all the displaced people will have starved to death. Who said they have to eat military provisions? General, are you accustomed to the spending habits of the Prince of Great Chu? What does Dachu lack? Does it lack war horses? Or domesticated beasts? What do we lack? Do we lack food, salt, or iron? If they intend to muddy the waters for profit, I will make him leave behind all the food he brought. They will even have to beg us to accept it. Will he agree to this? They came precisely to fish in troubled waters. That was before. Now, Wang Zib will be in our hands. The Jinjiang royal court temporarily dares not act rashly. We are now unburdened. If Xiao Wang does not wish to perish in the northern realm, he had best learn to be a true merchant. Pass down the command. Proceed according to the instructions of Jiang Kanjun. These 100,000 refugees, I, Li Muji, will accept them all. Not only will we accept them, but we must also issue a proclamation welcoming even more refugees. Is that not how it should be? Come and take this. Thank you, many thanks. Do you see clearly, young one? See what? A group of lowly slaves. This is the power of a military that only knows how to plunder. They plunder, then they eat. Once they've eaten their fill, they plunder again. That is the way of wild beasts. As for us, we are creating. This single sheepskin in your hands can only be used as tent material. But in our hands, it can be transformed into precious leather. That is precisely why, for several hundred years, you have not been able to conquer the Central Plains. It is not because you are not ruthless enough, but because you are too poor, too foolish. Learn carefully now. If you don't finish chopping that pile of firewood today, you will have no food to eat. Right, tonight, a prince from Dachu will be dining here. Change into clean clothes and serve the dishes for me. What? I am a prince. Are you forcing me to attend to another man? It is said that Zhao Wang loves to eat whole roasted sheep the most. If you do not go, I will strip you bare and roast you over a fire. I'll go. Has Li Muzi gone mad? Dragging along this horde of beggars. What are they doing here? The stench is dreadful. Your Highness, please wait for it to heat up. Li Muzi's actions here are a display of weakness to us, and also a show of force. This display of weakness is merely him complaining about poverty, hoping to obtain our provisions. The show of force is meant to tell us that he possesses a multitude of people. Though they may be refugees, offer them but a morsel of sustenance, and they will transform into soldiers. HMPH, a conspiring group. This time, I, this prince, have brought 300,000 pickles of provisions, along with customs passes that can open the trade routes to the south. I do not believe Li Muzi will not eventually yield. I, this prince, am determined to seize the 3 Blackstone cities. Li Muzi dares to make this prince eat in a place such as this? Your Highness, please. This place is warm, simple, and intimate. Furthermore, Your Highness has certainly never tasted today's southern dish before. Oh, has the Fang family arrived? Sit, make yourselves at home. This is our specialty from Beijing, a spicy and numbing hot pot, perfect for such cold weather. Eating this dish is truly satisfying. General Liai, is this truly the hospitality of your Bei Liang? To have a subordinate officer, in disheveled attire, in a place resembling a pigsty, invite this prince to partake of such a thing. This well water? Well water, you say? What is being cooked in this pot is none other than the black-headed sheep from the Dada grazing grounds, belonging to the Golden Egg Royal Court. That is the most precious ingredient we possess, yet your Highness dismisses it as foul water. Furthermore, your Highness has come here to discuss matters of state. Why fuss over mere food and drink? Who are you to deem yourself worthy of discussing matters of state with this prince? Xiao Wang, if you have indeed arrived, then let us proceed with the business at hand. Jiang Kanjun's sentiment is also my own. Very well. I, this prince, wish to see what schemes you intend to play. Serving boy, bring the wine. You are Talaj, he replied. Indeed, this is your reward. You may withdraw. Finish carrying that pile of firewood, and then you may sleep. Intelligence reports said that Talaj might be in the hands of the Zhenbei army, but he should have been treated as a distinguished guest under house arrest, strictly guarded. Why is he being made a slave like this? This truly is throwing the Man tribe's prestige to the ground and trampling it. Jiang Kanjun is truly masterful. Xiao Wang Xiangyi took a deep breath. After this, he understood that the initiative in today's negotiations was no longer in his hands. Originally, I guessed he wanted to use grain to force Li Muzi to hand over Talaj. Then Dachu would return Talaj to the Golden Tent Royal Court, thereby exchanging for border trade rights with the Man tribe for Dachu. But now, Talaj has been humiliated to this extent by me. If he is returned, King Jin Changhan will not see Dachu's good intentions, but only the humiliation of his son being turned into a slave. Dachu will not only gain nothing, but will instead invite disaster upon itself. You flatter me too much, Your Highness. Let us speak frankly. 30% of the black stones is no problem. Prince Talaj will also not be handed over, but we still possess some grain. This deal is no longer negotiable. We are leaving. Your Highness, do not be hasty. Please look at this first. This is winter in Dachu. Very harsh and cold. That cold penetrates deep into the bone marrow. The scholars, refined gentlemen, wealthy merchants, and magnates of your esteemed nation, although they have money, find overly thick clothing cumbersome. While wearing overly thin clothing, they would suffer greatly. But this warm inner armor coat, worn inside loose robes, not only won't be revealed, yet is as warm as embracing a fiery stove. Moreover, it is cheap, only requiring 2 taels of silver, or exchanged for 2 caddies of rice. Dachu's silk, though good, does not retain warmth. Such fur products have always been fast-selling items in Dachu. In previous years, they had to be bought from the Man army at a very high price. A fur coat of this quality would cost at least 10 taels of silver. If it truly only costs 2 taels, how many do you have? Now, there are 10,000 pieces. Next month, there can be 50,000 pieces. As long as your highness has enough grain, you can have as many of these as you want. If I do not demand territory, I might have to go to war with the Zhenbei army, and it is not certain I could keep it. Demanding the prince now seems to be a hot potato. But if it is for trade, then it is acceptable. Alright, this prince wants exclusive trading rights. Except for this prince, you are not allowed to sell to anyone else in Dachu. Very well. Exclusive business rights can be granted to you. But I have one condition. What condition? I need iron. Raw iron, fine iron, scrap iron. I will take all of it. Furthermore, I want the design blueprints for Great Chu's divine arm bow. Absolutely not. Design blueprints for military weaponry are embargoed items by the imperial court. Giving them to you would be akin to raising a tiger that will eventually harm us. HMPH, your Chu Zi has not even spoken yet. You are merely a dog, yet you dare to make decisions for your master? You are mistaken. Stop, Xiao Jiaowang. Control your people. Have you come here to discuss business? Or to fight? You all, step outside for now. You may return later. Everyone, there is no need to be so hot-headed. Your Highness, please consider this situation. Although the barbarians were defeated in one battle, they are not yet completely eradicated. Great Jin in the west is still coveting our lands. If our Xianbei Jun were to collapse, these refugees would all starve to death. Your Highness, guess what? Hundreds of thousands of refugees, starving to the point of madness, and holding the blades we just distributed, would do. Would they chew on tree bark? Or would they— What are you trying to say, Your Highness? Do you think these 100,000 refugees, starving to the point of madness, would turn into bandits? With the blades we just distributed in their hands, would they advance southward to that excessively wealthy place, your Great Chu, to find food? Good, good. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. This persuades this prince. I can, under the guise of worn-out farm tools, transport a batch of goods for you. As for the blueprints, this prince does not have them, but I can send you a group of skilled artisans. The deal is settled here. Your Highness, please partake of the meat. This braised pigeon will not taste as good if it is overcooked. Ah bah. Pour wine for His Highness. This time, switch to that other kind, to that fine wine. It appears that starting from today, Bei Liang will no longer be the Bei Liang of Great Xia. Military advisor. Did we truly grant him exclusive rights to trade those armaments? If we were to sell that commodity ourselves, we could earn far more. In Great Chu, he holds the monopoly. But what about in Great Jin? What about in the western regions? What about the barbarian tribes? Moreover, once our workshop grows strong, and we produce superior padded jackets and windbreakers, these sheepskin inner garments will simply become outdated. By then, he will have to beg us to switch to the new goods, and he will have to pay extra. Old man, remember this. In business, one must have foresight. With the Zero of Great Chu, the rules of this world must be determined by us. Everyone listen closely. I know you all wish to join the army. Joining the army means meat to eat and clothes to wear. However, General Li only accepts those from respectable families, not vagrants. But here with me, your background does not matter. As long as you are ruthless enough, daring enough to risk your lives, I will take you into my Black Dragon ranks, offering double the benefits of the regular army. Do you see this latrine pit? Beneath this pit are 500 coins. Whoever reaches in and retrieves the money, that money will belong to them. Furthermore, whoever retrieves the money from this moment forward will be a brother of Jiangting. What's wrong? Is it too dirty for you? If you cannot even stomach this filth, how can you expect to eat meat amidst such turbulent times? Disperse, all of you. Go back to gnawing on tree bark then. I am a lord, after all. Very well. Advisor Jiang. Are you training soldiers or humiliating them? How can you be so utterly unrestrained? A person is most terrifying when pushed to their limit. The regular army values battle formations and glory in combat. What I, Jiangting, need is a pack of mad dogs, willing to bite off an enemy's throat for survival. Very good. What is your name? Reporting, my lord, I have no name. At home, being the 9th born, everyone calls me Ju Jin. Your gaze holds enough ruthlessness. You are like a wolf. From now on, you shall be called Ling Ju. Head over there to receive clothing and cleanse yourselves. Tonight, we feast on meat. Ling Ju, overcome with emotion, knelt to the ground and kowtowed deeply. And this served as an example for the other refugees to witness. The way they looked at me now, beyond the reverence, held a fervent ardor. The Black Dragon Battalion shall be established this very day. After I had settled all matters, and was about to return to my command tent, Tatlakash suddenly approached with hurried steps. He gently tugged at my sleeve. What is it? Do you also wish to grope for coins in that mire? There is something amiss with him. Oh? How did you discern that something was amiss with him? Everyone's gaze just now, like a pack of starved wolves, was fixed upon that muddy pit, eager to leap down and seize the coins. Only he, despite feigning eagerness, held eyes brimming with contempt and disdain. That very look I have seen before, in the eyes of great Sat Man beside his father. The gaze one reserves for mere ants. How could a refugee, starving to the brink of death, possess such a gaze? Intriguing. It seems my young wolf has come of age. You have proven your worth this time. Tonight, you shall be rewarded with a chicken drumstick. I cast a subtle glance, signaling to Earthrat, who stood not far off. Earthrat understood implicitly. Half an hour later, the middle-aged scholar was bound and sprawled upon the floor of a derelict cattle shed. Yet, no matter the torment inflicted by old Huang, he refused to utter a single word. This one is a stubborn adversary. He must have undergone professional training. I had him ingest itching powder. He gritted his teeth, not uttering a single groan, even biting through his own tongue. Professional training, you say? If you are so formidable, then finish me. I am a subject of great Xian. I shall not yield to bandits. This place is the illustrious Northern Garrison Army. It is the army of great Qian. You call us bandits, yet who are you? I am Liu Min, and I merely detest your humiliation of the common people. So this badge, it seems to have been scraped off from under your shoe sole, with the character, Yan, on the back. Are you not a personal guard of the current Prime Minister Yan Song? Is he not Grand Secretary Yan? You. What do you want? Grand Secretary Yan sent you here merely to investigate what exactly this Northern Liang workshop is about, or perhaps to seize the formulas for the warm winter coats. In truth, these formulas are not worth much. If you wish to know, I can tell you. But what I detest most is someone acting as a spy in my territory. Old Huang, scholars value their dignity above all else. Give him some aphrodisiac, strip him naked, throw him into a pigsty, and make him shovel 7,769 tons of coal. You vile creature! Let me go! Let me go! He can be let go now. Yan Song's men. It seems our business is attracting too much attention. The Prime Minister in the capital has grown envious, wishing to take a share. Or perhaps he wants to control us, to easily accuse us before the Emperor. This is a secret letter that just arrived from the capital, sent by my elder sister, the current Empress. The birds have not all flown, yet the good bows are already being put away. The barbarians are not yet completely vanquished, yet the Emperor is already eager to lay down his bow. Is this Zhao Zhen's mind malfunctioning? It's not that his mind is malfunctioning, but rather the imperial stratagem of a sovereign. The news of victory brought back by Zhao Wuji, though it pleased the Emperor for a moment, also caused him even greater sleeplessness. A general who can repel barbarians without losing a single soldier is more frightening to him than a general who only knows slaughter. Furthermore, the matter of the Xiaoyao king conducting business with us has probably also reached the capital. From colluding with enemy states to trading military supplies, each of these crimes warrants confiscation of property and execution of the entire family. What does the general intend to do? Surrender your military authority, return to the capital to plead guilty, or simply rebel outright? So what does the general intend to do? Let us simply rebel outright then. Jiangding, mind your words carefully. There are no outsiders here. General, the blade is already at our throats. This letter from the Empress is the final warning. I cannot rebel. At least not now. The barbarians are not yet annihilated. The great Jin is still waiting by the side. If I rebel, the northern borders will surely fall into chaos, and the common people will inevitably suffer a massacre. My Li family has received imperial grace for generations. We cannot become criminals reviled through the ages. Very well. If the general wishes to remain loyal, I shall accompany you. But if the capital intends to play dirty, then we shall play a game with them. In just a few days, it will be New Year's Eve. I want to give Grand Chancellor Premier Grand Master Fang in the imperial capital, a grand gift. What gift? A gift capable of turning him, Zhao Wuji, and even the emperor, against one another like vicious dogs. Mr. Su, did you sleep well last night? It seemed that Spotted Sow took quite a liking to you. She kept pressing herself into your embrace. Kill me. I beg you, just kill me. Kill you? How terribly dull that would be. Mr. Su is a man of letters, a trusted confidant of Senior Grand Secretary Yan. If I kill you, Senior Grand Secretary Yan merely loses a hound, one he will completely forget in a couple of days. We ought to do something far more meaningful. Do you expect me to betray the Senior Grand Secretary? In your dreams, my entire family is in his hands. Who said anything about forcing you to betray him? I intend to bestow upon you boundlessly soaring wealth and glory, while offering Senior Grand Secretary Yan a sharp blade to execute his enemies. Take a look at this. Thousand-man commander Zhao Wuji of the Embroidered Uniform Guard, during his tenure in the northern border, secretly accepted 80,000 taels of silver in bribes from the Golden Tent Royal Court and unilaterally forged a covenant with the barbarians, promising to cede 3 Blackstone cities in exchange for demon cavalry troops to claim military merit. This is fake. Does it matter whether it is real or fake? What matters is whether Senior Grand Secretary Yan believes it. Will the emperor believe it? Zhao Wuji's return to the capital this time is backed by the monumental achievement of repelling the barbarian forces. Just as he rides high on his success, Senior Grand Secretary Yan must be agonizing over finding an opportunity to suppress him. No. If you take this ledger back right now and tell Senior Grand Secretary Yan that this is the true secret behind Zhao Wuji subduing the enemy without fighting, this is equivalent to handing a deadly weapon directly to Yan Song. The eunuch faction and the court factions are locked in a life-or-death struggle in court. Should he obtain this weakness, Yan Song will act like a mad dog, sinking his teeth into Zhao Wuji and never letting go. But you are the one who gave me this ledger. The Senior Grand Secretary is naturally suspicious. Will he truly believe me? Naturally, he will believe it. Even if he does not, he must believe it. This is the finest weapon available for him to deal with the eunuch faction. This man is far too scheming. This move of borrowing a blade to kill an enemy not only completely cleanses his hands of involvement, but also reignites factional strife in the capital, leaving them with no mind left to deal with Beiliang. This is an open scheme, a blatant, brazen display of treating those high and mighty figures in the capital like mere monkeys to be toyed with. I agree to your terms, Mr. Su. Go bathe, change into clean clothes, and set off. Remember, do not mess up your performance. Otherwise, the consequences will fall squarely on you. After sending off Su Wen, that venomous pawn of mine, I was in an exceptionally splendid mood. It just so happened to be New Year's Eve today. Inside the Beiliang workshop, the usual deafening roar of machinery had fallen silent, replaced instead by a warm atmosphere filled with joyful laughter and lively chatter. Though the 100,000 refugees had not yet completely escaped poverty, thanks to these past 2 months of labor, every single one of them was well fed and warmly clothed. Upon this land of Beiliang, they experienced the true warmth of home for the very first time. Yet as everyone celebrated, Prince Xingbi was huddled alone in a corner, his gaze filled with complex emotions as he watched me surrounded by the crowd. Over the past 2 months, he had performed countless filthy tasks, even learning how to deliver piglets. Originally, he assumed I was merely trying to humiliate him, but gradually he realized he himself had fundamentally changed. His hands were no longer fair and smooth, and his eyes no longer bore that hollow, arrogant disdain. He had learned how to read human nature, and how to conceal his fangs and claws before the strong. What are you staring at, little wolf cub? Homesick? I am not. The grasslands have no braised pork, nor do they have dumplings. HMPH, you adapt quite quickly. Care for a drink? After tonight, you will no longer need to feed the pigs. I am taking you to a new place. Where? To the Martial Academy. I want you to learn military strategy, study the written language of Great Qian, and master the arts of governance and warfare. Why? I am a barbarian. I am your enemy. You teach me these things. Are you not afraid that I will turn around and bite you in the future? I, Jiang Ting, fear only 2 things in this life. One is running out of money, and the other is running out of worthy rivals, raising you well and making you strong so that we may fight a grand battle in the future. Now, that is what I call entertaining. Furthermore, once you learn Great Qian's culture and learn to use your brain to think, you will realize just how utter foolish that grassland habit of plundering and running truly is. When that day comes, I will not even need to raise a hand against you. You yourself will want to transform the grasslands. That is what is called cultural invasion. Cultural invasion. This man is far more terrifying than even my royal father, and far more powerful than my royal father. I accept his offer, and I will study. But I swear, one day, I will use everything you teach me to defeat you. Then I shall wait. Fireworks burst across the night sky, brilliant yet fleeting. However, in the imperial capital thousands of miles away, peace was destined to be absent this night. For that scholar named Su Wen had returned with the ledger, immediately seeking out Xianxia. He presented the ledger, but Xianxia merely spared it a passing glance before casting it in a brazier to burn. Senior Grand Secretary, that is ironclad evidence. If it is burned, how can we possibly overthrow the eunuch faction? Fool! If this thing is brought forth in open court, it will force His Majesty to initiate a full investigation. Once a full investigation begins, those mad dogs of the embroidered uniform guard will bite back. If it is found to be a forgery, or if the ledger's origins are deemed shady and unclear, this old master will be placed in a passive disadvantage. To execute an enemy, one must strike at their heart. We need only leak a fragment of information so that His Majesty investigates it himself, rather than us filing a formal accusation. Nevertheless, you did well. Go down and rest. At tomorrow morning's court assembly, this old master shall stage a grand play for our 1,000-man commander Zhao, as well as for that hard-working, highly accomplished Grand Guardian Li Ran. A truly grand play. Your Majesty, this old servant has a memorial to present. This matter concerns the safety and survival of the state, and this old servant must risk his life to admonish the throne. Beloved Minister Yan, what is it this time? I impeach Zhao Wuji, Vice Commander of the Embroidered Uniform Guard, for deceiving the sovereign, committing treason, and conspiring with the enemy. I also impeach General of Beiliang Li Muji for relying on his military force to act with impunity and arbitrarily ceding territory. You spout slander? My humble self has just achieved a monumental exploit. You are driven by envy. This is false accusation. False accusation? Your Majesty, I have received secret intelligence from the northern border. The reason the Golden Tent Royal Court withdrew their troops was not out of fear for our great Qian's heavenly majesty, but because Zhao Wuji secretly forged a deal with the barbarians, promising to cede 3 Blackstone cities, and offering 80,000 taels of silver as a bribe. Now 100,000 refugees of the northern border have been enlisted into the so-called Beiliang workshop, manufacturing armaments and stockpiling grain, day and night. All of this is being manipulated behind the scenes by Zhao Wuji. He intends to establish a rival court in the northern border. Nonsense. Your Majesty, I am wronged. That Beiliang workshop was established by Li Muji. It has nothing to do with me. I have not even seen a single tael of silver. Enough! Zhao Wuji, you claim you took no silver? Then where did the 100,000 refugees of the northern border get food to eat? Where did Li Muji get the funds to support them? For this matter, this servant only gave him 50,000 taels. Other matters were truly not done by this servant. But to speak of this would be to invite scorn and suspicion. Even if not a fabrication, it would undoubtedly be taken as one. Excellent. Truly excellent. My imperial guards? My General Chen Bei. It turns out they are all brilliant merchants who merely carry out imperial edicts. Commander Zhao Wuji of the Imperial Guard is hereby suspended for immediate investigation, to be handed over to the Dali Temple for thorough inquiry into the illicit gains of General Li Muji, who guards the northern borders. Though Li Muji has merit in defending the territory, his command of the army is lax, tolerating his subordinates, engagement in trade and illicit accumulation of wealth. Starting today he shall be fined 3 years of his stipend, and all products from the Beiliang workshop must be submitted to the Ministry of Revenue, forbidden from being sold independently. The Ministry of War is to immediately dispatch special border envoys to the northern borders to take over the Beiliang workshop and inspect its accounts. I wish to see just how capable that corrupt official Jiang Ting truly is, to have dared transform my northern borders into his personal treasury. Corrupt court officials are in grave peril. News has already arrived from the capital. The emperor, swayed by Xianxia's instigation, has already dealt with Zhao Wuji. But he has also dispatched a special envoy here. He intends to take over our workshop. And furthermore, he wants us to surrender all the wealth we have accumulated. The workshop had just been completed, yet I had someone set it ablaze. The faster it burned, the happier I became, for I knew it was the only way to retain this workshop.
Ever since His Majesty dispatched an envoy to investigate the accounts of the Beiliang workshop,
I understood he had set his sights on this profitable workshop. Thus, I set the workshop on fire and moved all valuable machinery to the rear. At the same time, I had the workers wear tattered clothes to greet the esteemed official from the capital.
this humble official, Jia Ding, leads the entire Beiliang workshop in reverently welcoming Royal Envoy Wang. But why is it only you? Where is Li Muzhi?
Oh, General Li is occupied with military affairs, having gone to reinforce the border. Does Royal Envoy Wang have some business with him? It is nothing in particular. This official has merely come under imperial decree to inspect the accounts. I heard your establishment is said to rake in gold daily, yet why has it descended to such a dismal state? Rake in gold daily? Esteemed envoy, who was the scoundrel spreading such baseless rumors to you?
Please observe the displaced citizens overflowing this city. Over 100,000 of them need feeding. General Lai had to reluctantly use military provisions just to keep them from starving.
And that workshop, you ask?
It burned down.
Esteemed sir, this humble official originally intended for the displaced citizens to work there. However, they are uneducated and could not comprehend the operational methods this humble official taught them. A few days ago, they made a mistake, and a fire consumed the entire workshop. Now, let alone earning money, even our trousers are nearly worn through.
Cease your theatrics and lead the way.
This official must first inspect the accounts, and then the warehouse.
Yes, yes, esteemed sir, please.
The accounts are all here.
Please observe, esteemed sir. These are the coal purchase records from last month. Due to heavy snow and mountain blockades, the price of coal increased tenfold. Not wishing for the displaced citizens to suffer, this humble official had to grit his teeth and buy at exorbitant prices. This transaction alone resulted in a loss of 8,000 taels.
This is the medicine cost for treating the plague among the displaced citizens. The imperial divine physician, to save lives, invested all his retirement savings into it.
The more Royal Envoy Wang reviewed, the more alarmed he became. The income entries were meager and few, while the expenditure entries were all enormous sums, tens of thousands of taels.
These are all fake accounts I fabricated. Clearly, he did not believe them either. How could this be?
Did Prince Xiaoyao not arrive? Did he not purchase 10,000 winter armors?
Where is the money? The money was all spent on provisions. But feeding 100,000 people consumes resources too quickly. The proceeds from selling those 10,000 armors were not even enough to feed 100,000 people for half a month. Esteemed sir, do you not know how much 100,000 people eat in a single day? Esteemed sir, these accounts truly show a loss, and furthermore, a colossal deficit.
If the imperial court does not take over this debt of 200,000 taels and this burden of 200,000 taels returns with you, His Majesty will surely have my head.
Take me to the warehouse. I refuse to believe you have no inventory whatsoever.
Indeed,
there is another batch of goods in the warehouse, items intended to be used as collateral for debt.
If your excellency wishes to completely revive this business, as long as the debt is cleared, this humble one will kowtow to thank you.
I know Special Envoy Wang has not yet given up his intentions, but I have prepared thoroughly. A moment later, the large warehouse door opened, revealing an interior filled with moldy, rotting sheepskin, covered in green mold, and even crawling with maggots.
This is what I deliberately instructed old Huang to process. Special Envoy Wang only took one look and immediately vomited on the spot.
This is your remaining stock? Yes, Your Excellency. These are sheepskins recently purchased from the Man tribe because there was no money to buy chemicals for treatment, nor money to hire workers to clean them. They were simply piled up here and rotted away. But it is still skin after all. If washed clean back in the capital, it should still be usable. Perhaps it could be pawned for several hundred taels of silver. What? Earning a Tao of gold daily? What, gathering treasures? It's all falsehood. It is clear that this place relies on borrowing money, and Li Muzhi spending his own funds to maintain this pile of junk. That's not right. Advisor Zhang, if the workshop's business is so difficult, then how do you survive? This official heard that the equipment of your Black Dragon Battalion is very exquisite. Your Excellency, that is because we need to fight the Manji bandits. We borrowed at high interest from that great Chu merchant.
Since Your Excellency has already arrived, could you please help us inform the imperial court and settle this high-interest debt for us?
Is what he says true? Your Excellency, what he said is indeed recorded in the ledgers. Your Excellency, please see if you can help us settle it. Settle for you? Special Envoy Wang finally could not hold back and swore, but he still did not believe it. After leaving the warehouse, he used the excuse that it was already late and wanted to stay overnight at the northern Liang camp, but in reality, he intended to use the cover of night to take a few secret guards and investigate the surroundings. Unexpectedly, as soon as he stepped out of his room, a sharp arrow immediately pierced the ground at his feet. Immediately after, came the sound of chaotic horse hooves and shouts of, "Kill them!" Assassins! Bandits! Protect His Excellency! Help me, Advisor Jiang. For the general, hand over all the money here. Give it all to me. Don't kill me. I am an imperial official. A moment later, I brought a large contingent of reinforcements, carrying torches and rushing over. Special Envoy Wang reeked of urine, slowly crawling out from under the bed. What he did not know was that this was a play I orchestrated, not real bandits at all. Jiang Kanjun, I will investigate no further. I will take charge no longer. I must return to the capital. If not tomorrow morning, then right now. Take me back to the capital at once. Your Excellency, this matter might not be advisable. The workshop has not yet been handed over, and there is that debt of 200,000 taels. There is no need for a handover. You shall settle the debts yourselves. The workshop shall remain under your management. This official will return and report clearly to His Majesty that although the Northliang workshop incurred losses, under the leadership of Jiang Kanjun, it is still striving diligently to share the nation's burdens. Your Excellency is sagacious. If Your Excellency truly understands the hardships of those below, then this subordinate humbly requests that Your Excellency leave behind a complete power of attorney. And while you are at it, include the losses incurred from the bandit raid this time. Record them immediately in Xini's ledger of irrecoverable debts. Record it all, record it all. Early the next morning, before dawn, Special Envoy Wang's carriage rushed out of North Liang, as if fleeing for his life. As soon as I issued the order, the North Liang workshop was immediately re-established, and the machinery hidden behind the mountain was also retrieved. Tens of thousands of displaced workers rebuilt the workshop in less than 3 days, rolled up their sleeves, and began working, while I sat in the general manager's office on the workshop's highest floor, enjoying the sight of all this. Kanjun, this is the finest type of garment our workshop produces. Such fine goods, we brothers can barely bear to wear them ourselves. Do you truly intend to sell them to those dog officials in the capital? Shuo Zi, how much do you think this item is worth? At least 50 taels of silver, surely. 50 taels? I intend to sell this item for 500 taels. 500 taels? Is that not outright robbery? Although the high officials in the capital have money, they are not fools. In the capital, whether an item holds value is not determined by its utility, but by its exorbitant price and rarity. This cloak of ours will no longer be called a common lambskin coat. It shall be renamed the Keyless North Realm Snowfluff. Furthermore, we must fabricate a story. We shall claim that the filling inside is not ordinary duck down, but originates from the peak of Yin Mountain. It is the plumage of a divine bird named Zhui Yuan. It sheds its feathers only once every 3 years, making it incredibly difficult to collect. Your exaggerations are truly excessive, sir. What, Zhui Yuan? Isn't that from the back pantry? From those ducks? I personally fed them just yesterday. Adults are speaking. Children should not interfere. The more mystical and exaggerated the story is, the better. Afterward, we only had 100 of them. No more. Each robe is embroidered with serial numbers, from heavenly character 1 to heavenly character 100. These are surplus goods. Surplus goods? But for us, the strategists, to sell such fine goods to them, to allow them to pass the winter comfortably. Isn't that providing supplies to the enemy? Young one, you only perceive the first layer. These 100 items are 50,000 taels. These 50,000 taels of silver, in the hands of the capital's powerful elites, would at most buy a few more courtesans, or fund a few more banquets. But in our hands, it is enough to sustain the Black Dragon Battalion for a full year. Wait until the day we lead the Black Dragon Battalion to assault the capital. They will then realize that the very blade descending upon their necks was purchased with their own coin. Is this what is known as economic sanctions? Coating poison with sugar allows the enemy to weaken gradually amidst their pleasure, while we covertly grow stronger. This stratagem is exceedingly brilliant, 1,000 times more insidious than the great Khan himself engaging in plunder. Have you grasped it? The sharpest fangs in this world are not forged from steel, but cast from silver. Master the art of spending money, and you shall master the art of manipulating people. Strategist. I wish to ask you for one favor. Speak, the strategist replies. I wish to join the Black Dragon Battalion. I wish to follow you and learn.
Strategist, no. This young wolf is, after all, a prince of Manji. If he masters these capabilities, what if he turns and bites us in the future?
Very well. Do you see that lean man practicing throwing knives over there? His name is Number 9, and he is the most ruthless among your ranks.
When you can withstand 10 of his moves without flinching,
I will allow you to join the Black Dragon Battalion. But for now, go back and peel taro for me. If today's taro is insufficient, you shall fast tonight.
Strategist. This young wolf is excessively arrogant.
Do we truly wish to nurture a viper in our bosom? At best, he is merely a stray cat. If he wishes to become a true spirit fox, he must train further.
Furthermore, if there comes a day when the new Khan King of the Golden Tent Royal Court utilizes my military tactics, my weaponry,
and even my very mindset to govern the grasslands, do you believe that land would remain the same as the grasslands of old? That would become the most loyal bastion of Beiliang.
Trouble has erupted at Heifengku in the west. The elite cavalry of Daijin have crossed the border.
How many men do they have?
300 heavy cavalry.
They are pursuing a merchant convoy, claiming that there is a traitor of the great Jin among them.
300 heavy cavalry. Could it be the Iron Buddha cavalry chasing traitors, having reached my northern Liang territory? Black Dragon Battalion, assemble! How dare they trespass upon my domain? I shall chop them to pieces and make stew of them tonight. Brothers of the Black Dragon Battalion, there are those who dare to provoke us right at our doorstep, those iron turtles of the great Jin. Tell me, what shall we do? Mobilize towards Black Wind Pass.
Amidst the snow and wind, this dark army, like an evil dragon uncoiling, swept with me towards the west. Yet from the corner of my eye, I caught sight of a disabled young man with a saber, lagging behind at the end of the ranks, secretly following. This is a lesson on how to defeat an enemy 10 times stronger than oneself, which he had already begun to learn.
Run! Quickly, run!
You cannot escape.
Soldiers, soldiers, go forth! Save my life, I am.
Silence! This is the Iron Buddha cavalry. The border army of Great Qian. I am General Hu Wei of the Great Jin. Helian Tieshu is pursuing a major court criminal. Be sensible and make way for us. Hand him over, or we shall crush you all. Oh, such arrogance! We shall stand right here. Let us see how you crush us.
If you seek death,
then I shall grant your wish. All troops, heed my command. Charge and level them. It's over. Zhao Song is finished. On the plains, 300 Iron Buddha cavalry dare to charge against an 80,000-strong infantry formation. He only has 500 infantry. How dare they?
Cavalry is renowned for its agility and speed, yet they are clad in armor weighing 200 jin.
Though they lose mobility, this creates the strongest cavalry of the cold weapon era, the Iron Buddha cavalry.
They are impervious to blades and spears. Arrows cannot scratch them. Just 300 iron cavalry are enough to tear through an infantry formation of 30,000.
But when facing the charge of the Iron Buddha cavalry, I felt not the slightest fear, for I knew that the way to defeat them lay precisely in the thick, heavy armor they wore. Level them!
The 300 iron cavalry charged in unison, slowly at first, but as the distance shortened, their speed increased dramatically. Even the connecting ravines were shaking. Yet I did not think of fleeing. Instead, I ordered my subordinates to push forward several self-made stone-throwing platforms.
Brothers, let this General Helion know what it means to seek death by his own hand. As ordered, the moment I gave the command, dozens of ceramic jars filled with liquid were launched. However, none of them struck the 300 iron cavalry, because my target was the icy ground before them.
You dare to be so brazen before me, relying on these dilapidated things?
Even if your shattered jar strikes, what can it truly achieve? A strange, sliding sound reverberated, as dozens of leading warhorses instantly slipped and lost their balance. They attempted to halt, but the immense inertia from their heavy armor propelled them sliding forward. That is because my vessel contains a special lubricant, formulated by old Huang.
In an instant, these 300 iron Buddhas in the narrow gorge collided into each other, forming a pile of wreckage.
What? What kind of demonic art is this? Demonic art? This is called friction. Does General Helion truly dare to roam the martial world with such a poor grasp of physics? Black Dragon Battalion, heed my command. All prepare.
Bring forth the armor-breaching tools.
Against heavy cavalry, blades cannot cut, and spears cannot pierce. But with this type of chisel, one merely needs to aim for the armor seams and strike down with a hammer. Get to work quickly. These 300 sets of heavy armor are truly valuable.
Drag the occupants out and dispose of them. Clean the armor and bring it back.
In the future, our Black Dragon Battalion shall also establish its own heavy cavalry unit. Old sir, you seem quite startled. You are bandits. Bandits? These hands are not made for wielding blades, but for hammers. That mad dog Helion Tieshu pursued the two of you for hundreds of li. There must be a deeper reason, old sir. If I am not mistaken, you must be the renowned divine general of the great Jin dynasty, no? Old Hu Gongdu, this is my granddaughter, Ling Rei. Gongdu, you have indeed acquired a treasure. It is said that the Gongdu family are the inheritors of the mechanical arts from the Mi family.
The great Jin's heavy crossbows and siege chariots, along with these iron pagoda heavy armors, were all designed by the Gongdu family.
So it turns out to be Master Gongdu. Qi Jing has long heard of Master Gongdu's esteemed reputation. To finally meet you today is an honor. Indeed, you bear the weariness of long travels. Grandmaster, look, the weather is so freezing. Let us not stand here any longer. Upon returning to the city, I will arrange the finest chambers for you. I will invite the best chef. Oh, that's right. If the pouch on your chest is too heavy, I can hold it for you. No need. This is my very life. All right. You may hold it yourself. HMPH. In any case, you are already in my grasp. How could you possibly escape now? My trusted officer, did those three in that iron box truly perish like that? What is it? Do you not find it sufficiently tragic and grand?
There was no fiery impact of cavalry clashing head-on.
My cub, remember this. The art of war is not about which side loses more men, nor about who roars louder, but about who can achieve the greatest victory at the smallest cost. This is called the Jiangdi Duoji. All right. Cease your pondering. Go chop firewood quickly. Today, I shall permit you to eat meat. We must swiftly create new weapons. This black oil can still be used in winter, but once spring arrives and the ice and snow melt, I truly have no means to contend with the great Jin's ironclad warriors. Has Lian Tieshu not returned?
Reporting to the Grand Marshal, he has not returned. Hei Feng Ku is filled with corpses. Not a single one of the 300 ironclad warriors survived. Good. Who was leading the troops on the Great Jin side?
It was a military advisor named Jiang Ding, leading 500 condemned prisoners. Jiang Ding, how interesting. It seems a capable figure has emerged in this region. Pass down the order. Contract our defensive line. That old traveling master has already fled, so let him run. In any case, the blueprint for that divine arm crossbow is incomplete. When spring arrives and the flowers bloom, this marshal will personally lead troops to meet with this Jiang Ding. I want to see his true measure. How long can one truly endure against absolute power? We've won! We've won, General! From this day forward, our northern Liang will no longer need to cower before anyone. We possess not only wealth, provisions, and equipment, but also the finest craftsmen. These are the assets with which we shall contend for supremacy over the world. No, this will not do. What a blatant waste of natural resources. This is top-grade ore, yet you use such rudimentary earthen furnaces to smelt it. The temperature is insufficient, preventing impurities from escaping, resulting in a shoddy trinket, like a piece of worthless trash. If this old man is so capable, Then do it yourself. This is already the best we can achieve here. Our bellows are already being pushed to their absolute limit, practically smoking. What more could you possibly want? You are simply relying on brute force. In refining, the most crucial aspect is the control of heat. The temperature. Indeed, it's truly impossible to reason with you. Rotten wood cannot be carved. This old man shall serve no longer. I must take my granddaughter and leave. Where do you think you can go? Grandmaster Gongdu, your temper is truly formidable. You haven't even begun working, and yet, you already demand to wash your hands of this and leave? Xianxia Jun. This old man admits you possess some cunning, and are highly favored by Helian Tieshu. However, in the path of artifact refining, you are but an outsider. This dilapidated workshop is not even worthy of carrying water for the Divine Mechanism Battalion of the Great Jin Dynasty. For this old man to remain here would be a disgrace to the craftsmanship of my ancestors. Grandmaster, your words are true. This furnace is indeed trash. These past few days, I have been contemplating methods for improvement. Grandmaster, please examine this. I sketched it out in my spare time, and I wonder if it might catch your discerning eye. It redirects exhaust gases back to preheat the furnace. This could increase the furnace temperature by at least 30%. Once that temperature is achieved, the molten iron will flow like ordinary water, and impurities will naturally be purged. Who drafted this blueprint? Was it a Mohist grandmaster? Or perhaps some reclusive sage? Could it be that a master of the Han Men school bestowed this upon you? Do not guess further. I drew it myself. And moreover, I possess a unique lineage. The hydraulic talisman mechanism, powered by a Blackwater River dragon serving as its rotating axis, effortlessly lifts a massive 100-caddy warhammer, then strikes it down forcefully, completely subduing the old master. This northern Liang truly possesses the qualifications for the old master to remain. Is that not logical? He has already agreed to stay. Then let us first discuss the item within that oilcloth bundle. Why must you keep it hidden? That mad dog, Helian Jishao, pursued you for hundreds of miles. It must undoubtedly be for the item contained within. To be frank, I am merely curious. Perhaps I will not find it disagreeable. You certainly won't find it disagreeable. Within this lies the culmination of this old man's lifelong effort. This is an improved version of the Tribo Ballista. It only requires 3 operators, and its projectiles can strike targets up to 12,000 paces away. Is that so? Let me see. Allow me to broaden your horizons. After all, without me, you would never be able to construct such a device. What in the world are you doing? This is this old man's painstaking effort. Grandmaster, times have changed. What we need is not merely a material object to defend a city. What we need is this. This is the ultimate truth. Grandmaster Gong Yu, do you understand gunpowder? What we forge is not merely a sharp blade. It is a package of explosives to drop upon the heads of our enemies. If aimed correctly, with a single thunderous detonation, within 10 zang, both men and horses will be utterly annihilated. This is the true justice of overwhelming firepower. Its very essence is the ultimate truth. If his words hold true, then once this item is fully developed, it will spell the absolute end of the age of heavy cavalry. But military advisor Jiang, this item is far too brutal. Grandmaster, if you find this item too cruel, you may refuse to create it. However, let me inform you, the Great Qin Dynasty has already begun researching firearms. If we allow the enemy to invade, countless talented individuals will be slaughtered, and our common people will become mere prey. Once they lose our protection, where will you and your granddaughter flee? Gong Yu fell into a profound silence. Finally, he gritted his teeth and joined my Northern Liang's Department of Ultimate Truth. Half a month later, the Rocky Mountains behind Beiliang suddenly resounded with a loud explosion. What was that sound? This is the scent of the General's truth. From now on, when reasoning with those people, remember to bring this along. Jiang Ding. Are you truly human? Of course I am. It's just that I am quite afraid of death, so I prefer others to die in my stead. Military advisor. This is disastrous. What happened? In the capital, Tianshang Renjian has just sent back news. Tianshang Renjian is a brothel I had Dilao try to open in the capital. Ostensibly a pleasure house, it is in reality my intelligence-gathering outpost. When Xia Zi brought me the secret letter, I knew that Emperor was playing tricks again. The Emperor has issued an imperial decree, using the pretext that there are no battles in the northern border. He has decided to cut the military rations of the northern garrison army. Furthermore, he has reallocated the provisions that originally belonged to us to the Western Pacification Army in the west.
Claiming that there are abnormal movements on the side of the Great Jin, he states that supplies must be prioritized there.
General, do not be angry.
We still have Great Chu. If there are no military rations, relying solely on trade with Great Chu, it will likely be difficult to sustain the expenses for Beiliang. Just inform King Xiaogao, I want to conduct an even larger business deal with him. If the Emperor of Great Qian will not give us provisions, then we will help Great Chu clear out his granaries.
While officials in the capital leisurely drink wine and embrace beauties, the soldiers guarding the city are only allowed to drink plain water. This is the true depiction of a dying dynasty. The northern garrison army has guarded the borders for the emperor for decades, yet the emperor cruelly cut off their military rations.
The moment the imperial decree was issued, the generals intended to march directly into the capital, but I knew full well that once we rebelled, it would be playing right into the emperor's scheme.
General, as long as you give the order, we will charge into the capital. Jiang Ding, tell me, what is the emperor's intention? What other intention could there be? He fears us growing too powerful and seizing authority. He wants to seize our military power, of course. Is he not afraid of us rebelling? Rebel? If we rebel, he will have an excuse to mobilize the armies of the entire realm to besiege us. If we do not rebel, then we must obediently offer our wealth to cover the deficit in military expenses until we are completely exhausted. This situation is akin to being slowly carved to death. What then should we do?
Provisions in the army will only last for another half a month.
100,000 soldiers, plus 100,000 refugees. That is 200,000 mouths to feed. In half a month, even without the Man barbarians attacking, we will descend into chaos ourselves. Half a month is sufficient. General, if the emperor does not supply provisions, then we shall take them ourselves.
We will target the granaries in Jiangnan of the Great Qian dynasty.
But Jiangnan is the central region of Great Qian, thousands of miles from here. Moreover, the imperial court strictly forbids the transport of provisions to the north. How are we to take them? For this matter, we must rely on our old friend. By my reckoning, Prince Xiaojiao's second convoy should be arriving soon, shouldn't it? Jiang Shenjun, my god of wealth. You are unaware, I just delivered the first batch of 10,000 warm coats to the main camp, and they were completely sold out. Furthermore, the nobles, in their struggle for the coats, were even willing to pay a price of 500 silver taels. This time, this prince has brought his entire fortune here. Provisions and minerals in abundance. You can have whatever you desire, as long as the quantity of fur coats can be sufficiently supplied. Prince, I fear this deal will not succeed. Why? What has happened? Your Highness is unaware.
The Great Qinian Emperor has issued an edict. Our military provisions have been cut, and our workshops are also demanded to be sealed.
Now we don't even have food to eat. Where would we find the strength to sew coats? I am preparing to close the workshop and lead my brothers to beg. This boy is trying to negotiate a higher price. But if he can guarantee the supply, a slight increase in his price would not be an issue.
Jiang Shenjun, speak frankly. How many provisions are you short? This time, this prince has brought 50,000 pickles. Is that enough?
Not enough. I need 500,000 pickles. How much? 500,000 pickles. Do you think this prince is a rice farmer to have such an amount? Even the national treasury of Great Chu would be depleted by more than half.
Furthermore, the roads are distant, and transportation costs are prohibitively high.
Your Highness, do not rush to refuse.
Taste this.
This is wine. Good wine. This wine, compared to the finest spirits of Great Chu, is 10 times stronger, and yet so crystal clear.
This is truly Qiangtian jade nectar.
This is called high-proof distilled liquor. Naturally, it also has a more fitting name, Blade Burner, Supreme Edition. I want to sell this wine. If it's 500,000 shi of grain, then I shall give 500,000 shi. But I do not need your Great Chu's grain. Great Chu is too far, and transport would be too slow. Then where do you want the grain from? I need grain from Jiangnan of Great Qian. Your Highness, you are a prince of Great Chu, holding a customs clearance document. Which corrupt official in the southern regions of Great Qiyin would dare not do business with you? I want you to step forward and use silver to buy out the old granaries in Jiangnan. Just say that Great Chu has suffered a natural disaster and urgently needs to purchase grain. Those corrupt officials, wanting to line their own pockets, will absolutely dare to sell. Afterward, you will use Great Chu's merchant ships to travel along the canal directly north, heading straight to our trading dock. This act is smuggling military provisions, a crime punishable by beheading. On Great Qian's territory, who would dare behead the carefree prince of Great Chu? Furthermore, with this amount of profit and this pass for you, in the future, Great Chu's merchant fleet moving in the northern border will be escorted by the Black Dragon Battalion, tax-free. This means you will monopolize all trade profits in the entire north. With these two things, I will become the wealthiest prince under heaven. A pleasant cooperation. Half a month later, in Jiangnan Dao of Great Qian, countless merchant ships bearing the Great Chu flag arrived. Just as I had predicted, Great Qian's granary officials had sold all the stored rice to Great Chu at cheap prices, with the money flowing into their private pockets. The Great Chu merchant ships did not return to Chu Kingdom immediately, but instead turned their bows directly north. Along the way, the border officials, seeing a few silver throws and several jars of Northern Liang bladeburner wine, all feigned ignorance and let them pass. Each of these scenes was truly the most ironic painting for a decaying dynasty. I once thought, who were Great Qian's true enemies? It was Great Jin. Now I understand. Great Qian's greatest enemy is itself. It is those greedy worms. General, do not pity the emperor any longer. This amount of grain, if left in Jiangnan, would only be embezzled away. In our hands, at the very least, it can be transformed into immense power. Do you understand now, young wolf? I understand. Without expending a single soldier or pawn, one can clear out a nation's grain reserves. This form of attack is even more terrifying than direct conflict. What if one day you were to use this tactic against our steppiness? For instance, you might buy our sheep's wool at an exorbitant price, causing us to focus solely on raising sheep, neglecting our martial training, and ceasing military drills. Then, when we can no longer live without your provisions and tea leaves, you suddenly cut off the supply. Mushe's mind is truly monstrous. Is this not akin to the trade wars and singular economic dominance of future generations? Excellent. Truly worthy of being taught by me. You are correct. This is the ultimate trump card I prepared for you. Therefore, you must learn to survive. In this world where the strong devour the weak, it is not merely the might of blades and swords that determines strength, but also the cunning of minds. I will learn. I will become wiser, more patient than you, and then I will defeat you. I shall await that day. General, there is an urgent matter. Grandmaster Gongdu's magnum opus has been completed. We must find a place to test its might. Where do you wish to test it? I hear that on the Great Jin border, there is a city named Suizhi, where the remnants of the Taifutu are stationed. Helion has suffered a crushing defeat, and his vice-generals are still clamoring for revenge. Let us send them on their way, and at the same time, let the world hear the roar of Beiliang. The individual clad in white fur is Jiang Ding. He is the one who conspired to harm General Helion's son. Reporting to the general, he is indeed the one known as General He Yanluo. This Yanluo, I see him more as a swindler. 500 foot soldiers dare to attack my city of Suizhi? They truly underestimate the might of my great Jin. Do we need the Taifutu to sally forth and engage in battle? That young man is full of cunning schemes. The lesson from Haifengku must not be forgotten. He is likely feigning an attack from that side, to draw out our Taifutu, and raid our supplies. We only need to defend the city walls, and wear them down. Once they are within range, shoot them until they resemble porcupines. General, they are acting like retreating tortoises. If they act like retreating tortoises, then all the better. I only fear they will flee, making them difficult to deal with. Facing the dense concentration of archers and crossbowmen on the enemy walls, I did not retaliate, but instead ordered my soldiers to quickly dig trenches at the foot of the city, for I knew that the furthest range of ancient crossbows did not exceed 300 meters. Yet I positioned ourselves at a distance of 301 meters. The reason for digging these trenches here is that I intend to embed tree trunks into the ground, not to create defensive fortifications, but for an assault. These tree trunks are thick and hollowed out. Their exteriors are tightly bound with 10 layers of iron rings. These are improvised mortars, designed to prevent them from bursting. The lower halves are deeply buried in the compacted earth to reduce recoil. Load the gunpowder. Master, is the angle calibrated? It is done. But is this truly viable? If a package of explosives this massive cannot be launched, we ourselves will be blown sky high. Rest assured, the laws of physics do not deceive. Prepare to fire. What is that? But the shot itself had no visible lever. What kind of explosive arrow is so remarkably stout? The first explosive finally detonated. The great Jin soldiers, clad in heavy armor, were hurled away by the shockwave before they could even utter a single cry of agony. Even the sturdy stone ramparts were shattered by the blast. Yet before the defenders could react, the remaining 9 packages of explosives soared towards them. Above the city walls of Toai Diep, a sea of fire and gunpowder smoke instantly engulfed everything. This is the absolute truth. Is this still a battle between mere mortals? This is divine retribution. And if so, then I am a god of this world. Young wolf, remember this sensation. Before such absolute power, what are cunning tactics? What is mere bravery? All are but a jest. As the gunpowder smoke dissipated, the once dense defending forces lay scattered across the ground. In merely half an hour, this steadfast ancient city of Toai Diep had changed hands. Yet, upon entering, I discovered that Thak Bat Hoang was still alive. Demonic arts! How pathetic. General Thak Ba, awaken! Cease chanting those demonic arts. Return and inform the Grandmaster. Go tell Yuan Chengdu that this is known as Bak Luong's number 1 military advisor. Shall I eliminate him? Release him? If he perishes here, who will carry this message? This fear must spread like a plague through the great Jin army camps, so they understand that the age has changed. You claim that a mere wooden barrel, with a few thunderous detonations, caused the city wall to crumble and everyone to perish? Commander-in-Chief, that must have been the Thunderlord. They summoned the Thunderlord. Drag them out and execute them. If such a contraption can so effortlessly bombard and demolish city walls, then what would become of Great Jin's proud defensive lines against Baklusong, if not mere decorations? Jiangding, it seems this commander must act sooner than planned. If this foe is not eliminated, he will undoubtedly become a great calamity. Issue orders to assemble the 3 armies, and command the Divine Hook Battalion to bring forth all siege weaponry. Upon the arrival of the early spring Tet Tangan festival, this commander shall raze Hutao City to the ground. I wish to see whether his demonic arts are truly formidable, or if my hundreds of thousands of mighty great Jin warriors are superior. After this, neither the Manyi barbarians nor the great Jin will dare to trouble Baklusong again. Yet, I am always plagued by a grim premonition. Thus, though the first lunar month has recently passed, the festive atmosphere of Tenet in Hutao City has yet to fully dissipate. Yet the air now carries the acrid scent of gunpowder. That is because I have commanded Gong Yujie to relentlessly refine the great canon of truth. Just as everything was progressing smoothly, Elder Huang emerged like a phantom from the shadows. He uttered no words, only giving me a discreet signal. This was a special signal of the Hailong Ying. It seems there is a rat in the house. Your Royal Highness, I, your servant, am also a child of the grasslands, currently working undercover for Da Jin. Today I have specifically come to rescue your Royal Highness, and bring you back to the royal court. Save me. Are you a man of Da Jin? Or a man of my father, the Khan? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yuan Dashuo knows your Royal Highness is suffering humiliation here, and intentionally sent this humble one to contact you. As long as your Royal Highness cooperates, Da Jin is willing to help you escape this predicament, and even help you seize the position of Khan. Is Da Jin truly so kind-hearted? Have you not been terrified by that Hailong Luo? You wish to exploit me to sow discord in Tigerhead City. How can this 18-year-old child be so difficult to deal with? Your Royal Highness is intelligent. I will speak plainly then. The gunpowder depot of Beiliang is located in the rear mountain. Your Royal Highness only needs to throw this object inside. Taking advantage of the chaos, I can escort your Royal Highness away. This is merely a transaction. Moreover, it is a transaction where you desire to destroy Jiangding's foundation, avenge yourself, and also return home. Your Royal Highness, what more are you hesitating about? Are you truly willing to be a slave for life to that man? He is right. Jiangding burned my family's grasslands, destroyed my family's livestock, and forced me to tend to horses and chop firewood here, enduring all manner of humiliation. If I only follow his words, everything will end. Furthermore, I can also use the hands of others to defeat Jiang Ding and seize his treacherous subordinates. This was all taught to me by Jiang Ding. Tonight, at the hour of Xia, I will take action. Where will you await me? Right by the aqueduct on the rear mountain. That is the weakest point in their defenses. It is settled then. Just throw this inside, and an earth-shattering explosion will resound. That Jiang Ding will be reduced to dust. Your Royal Highness, have you succeeded? I have succeeded, but I did not throw it. Why not throw it now? How much longer will you wait? Because I see no profit in this venture. You are merely a pawn. Even if I set the powder magazine ablaze, you may not be able to get me out alive. Furthermore, I now feel that staying in Baklushang is more interesting than returning to the grasslands. You? You are insane. Do you no longer wish to be a Khan king? Of course I want to. I dream of it. But the Khan king the first aspire to be is one who can trample both Daitan and Daikan beneath his feet. Not merely a dog in the hands of Daitan. An imbecile such as yourself is not worthy of making a deal with me. An insignificant one seeks the key point. Remarkable. Little wolf, that recent stab with a single blade was quite capable, yet the force was slightly weak. If it had gone 2 inches deeper, it would have severed his aorta. You already knew this. It's meaningless. In this workshop, I even recognize every male rat. How could I not know about a sudden strange rat appearing? I merely wanted to see what choice you would make. Why did you not throw it? If I had thrown that vase, even if I didn't die, I would have been severely injured. Because you once taught me. You said that the sharpest blade in this world is money and intellect. This foolish simpleton only wants to exploit me. He cannot pay the price I demand. As for you, though you are a scoundrel, what you teach can make me stronger. I must stay and thoroughly learn all of your abilities, and only then will I abandon you. Youngster, you are quite capable. Your tuition has now been fully paid. From today onwards, you no longer need to tend to horses. Report to the Black Dragon garrison, and make your name known. General Fang. The very next day, on the training grounds of Tigerhead City, a new 18-year-old recruit appeared. He wore the smallest size of chainmail armor, yet it still stood taller than his entire body as he tumbled and dragged himself through the mud. Days and months passed in this manner, until the chill of early spring arrived, the ice began to melt, and my Cannon of Truth was mass-produced. But at the same time, from the heavenly mortal realm, in the capital, the Elder Rat Temple delivered grim news to me via carrier pigeon. What was written in the letter? General, please see for yourself. A secret infantry order commanded Dai Tan's spies to reveal the defensive map of Bakluyong, along with the actual situation of the empty Blackwater River defense line, to Wuwen Chengdu. Promising immense benefits in Haipingtai, they lured Dai Tan to dispatch troops to encircle and suppress Li Muji. What is wrong? Little wolf, have you not always asked me what politics truly are? Today, I shall teach you the final lesson. What is called politics is when you risk your life fighting wolves to protect a flock of sheep in front of you, while that very flock behind you discusses selling you to the wolves in exchange for a few days of peace. Then, what is the point of protecting them? General, your meaning is, issue the command to assemble the entire army. Prepare for level 1 combat. The 500,000-strong army of Great Qin has arrived, and they came bearing the map presented by our Great Qian Ministry of War. In this battle, we have no reinforcements, no retreat routes. But if we can win, we will no longer be the Northern Guard Army. We will be the Bailiang Army. Lord Sun, what are you still hesitating about? 50,000 taels. This is merely the down payment. As long as the Bailiang defense map reaches the hands of Grand Marshal Yuwen, the remaining 100,000 taels will be immediately presented. This is not about money. Li Muzi is, after all, a great general of the imperial court. If this is investigated, Investigated? Who would dare to investigate? Grand Secretary Yan Ge wants Li Muzhi dead, because Li Muzhi is disobedient. His Majesty wants Li Muzhi dead, because Li Muzhi's achievements are so great, they overshadow the sovereign. You handing the map to us is precisely helping His Majesty alleviate his worries. Use our blade to eliminate the one His Majesty wishes to remove, but dares not. That is what is called repaying the nation with utmost loyalty. Repaying the nation with utmost loyalty. That's right, Li Muzhi threatens the imperial power and also obstructs everyone's path to prosperity. The military expenses for the northern border are a bottomless pit every single year. If he is gone, won't this money be saved? The map is yours. General Tianshang Renjian has clearly investigated that the Minister of War, Sun Yiji, revealed the map. The map in my hand is a copy of that leaked defense map. The map Sun Yiji sold has 2 critical weak points marked. This old scoundrel has truly exposed the very roots of our Beiliang's defenses. Of these 2 fatal weak points, one is the Blackwater River defense line. The ice on the river has melted, and here, only a pontoon bridge is needed for the great army to charge straight in. The other spot is the east gate of Hutao City. The city wall there has not been repaired for a long time, making it unsuitable for deploying heavy crossbows. General, this, surprisingly, is good news for us. Good news? If not for this map, that old fox Grand Marshal Yuan would certainly advance slowly and steadily. That is what we least desire. We cannot afford a war of attrition, but now that he has this map, he will believe he holds the key to victory. He will confidently and boldly attack. Are you planning an ambush? Indeed. Does Wu Wenchengdu not favor heavy cavalry? The Blackwater riverbank is an open plain, most suitable for heavy cavalry charges. If he knew that there were only 3,000 feigning weakness soldiers there, he would surely send the Tiet Fudong to spearhead and tear open a gap. We will be right below that open ground, treating him to some local specialties. You intend to use the great cannon of truth? This time, we will use new landmines. But what if they do not take the Blackwater River Road and instead attack the East Gate? Then that would be even better. The great Jin army, accustomed to night assaults and city attacks, would be like blind men. We will play hide-and-seek with them. We will use poison, set traps, turning that open ground into a meat grinder. Good. Proceed as you see fit. We shall turn his own schemes against him, leaving this door open for Wu Wenchengdu. Let us see if he dares to enter. Brothers, the imperial court has run out of funds. They can no longer issue our military provisions. But North Liang has wealth. Jiang Tangjun has already said, the imperial court will not sustain us. North Liang will. If the emperor denies us sustenance, we will secure it ourselves. From this day forth, you are no longer the soldiers of my elder brother. You are the soldiers of North Liang. I, Li Muzhi, declare this now. As long as the great banner of North Liang stands, I will never let any brother starve. Even if we must resort to plunder, I will lead you to seize a path to survival. This is more like it. If only I also had such an army, I would have a chance. But before that, you must learn how to be a good decoy. A decoy? Yes. I want you to write a letter. What letter? This time, Yuan Chengdu's objective is to eliminate Li Muzhi, while also raising the banner of acting on behalf of heaven and rescuing Prince Jinjiang. After all, he and your barbarian tribe have colluded, so you must write a letter pleading for help. Just say that you have been severely abused by us. But you secretly overheard intelligence saying that Hutao City is embroiled in internal strife, and Li Muzhi and Jiangting are eliminating each other due to unequal distribution of benefits. Why must these empty defenses be revealed? I just fear Yuan Chengdu will not dare to come. Give him a little more courage. The Grand Marshal has already verified the handwriting. It is indeed the prince's handwriting. That is the method. Have they turned against each other then? Heh. Sun Jiji's map shows that the East Gate and Blackwater River are weak points. Biluo Guess's bloodletter states that the interior is empty, the generals are at odds, and both sides are hesitant, so transmit the order for the 3 armies to depart. The main cavalry unit will carry all heavy siege equipment, with the Iron Pagoda acting as the vanguard. This commander wants to drink wine atop Hutu City's tower on the day of Long Tai Tu, and inform the generals that after the city is breached, there will be 3 days without sheathing blades. The gold, silver, and women of Humtao City will all be ours. According to Daqian's customs, the day of Long Tai Tu is a day when all things revive, and the common people must shave their dragon heads and eat spring cakes. They pray for a year of favorable weather, But Hutao City this year has no spring cakes. Only overwhelming killing intent. The common people in the city have all withdrawn and vanished. Inside the city, not a single soul could be seen. On the city walls, Li Muzi and I are sitting on chairs, warming wine, and ordering the city gates to be flung wide open, preparing to swiftly welcome the distinguished guests from afar. They have arrived. An empty city stratagem. According to Biluo Gei's bloodletter and Sun Zihiji's intelligence, Hutao City should be in great chaos right now. The two factions should truly be eliminating each other. Why is it so quiet? Grand Marshal, could this be a deception? A trick? Indeed, that Jiang Ting, pretending to be a god and a ghost, dares to play the empty city stratagem? Behind me are 500,000 elite troops. No matter how many traps there are, I can flatten it. Order the vanguard unit, the Iron Pagoda, to send 3,000 cavalry to charge in for me. Jiang Ting, do you truly not need to close the gates? What's the point of closing the gates when, once they're in, not a single one of them will live? Moreover, I want them to burn themselves. Is that not possible? For ordinary people, perhaps not. But Yuan Chengdu's army is very confident today. General, just wait and watch the show. Where are you? These wretches dare to humiliate me. They charged out from that pile of straw. They dismounted in disarray, fleeing into tunnels. But smoke forced them out. As Commander Tian gave the order, soldiers immediately gathered dry grass from around, hurled it into the caves, and instantly set it ablaze. But the instant the fire was lit, a sizzling sound erupted from beneath the ground. It was the fuse wires I had pre-buried, now ignited. The flames spread along the fuses, and the combustible materials lining the streets immediately erupted. Fire! How can this be? Retreat now! Too late. I knew the Iron Buddhas were fully encased in armor. They could not be defeated through brute force. However, if struck by fire attacks, that thick iron armor would instantly transform into searing furnaces. The soldiers trapped within were like geese thrown into a scorching oven, with no time even to shed their armor. Minutes later, the 3,000 Iron Buddha troops were all reduced to roasted corpses. Damn it. Damn it. What kind of tactic is this? Do they only know arson? What kind of grand army is this? They are clearly nothing but a band of ruffians. Grand Marshal, shall we continue the battle? The Heavenly Wind Battalion appears to have been entirely annihilated. Continue the assault. Order the Divine Mechanism Division to advance the siege vehicles and set up the trebuchets. I want to flatten this dilapidated city. Did they bring so many trebuchets? Jiang Ding, you. If the army does not retreat, what are we waiting for? Are we waiting to be struck by their stones? You brat, wait for me. We can no longer remain hidden within the city. I have already deployed an army in ambush around here. Now order them to emerge and engage Yuan Chengdu in a decisive battle to the death. No. Our forces are scarce. How can we contend against an army of 500,000? Do you have a better plan? General, do not forget we still possess the great cannon of truth. The great cannons. Where are they all? They are all here. Master, have all the charges been buried? Rest assured, Fang Quan, they are just outside the city wall, 300 paces into that open ground. To bury these 30 cannons, this old man led his disciples to dig tirelessly for 3 days and 3 nights. Light the fuse. Today, we must breach the city. Brothers, charge! As long as the siege towers reach the wall, Qinghu City will be ours. Gold, silver, treasures, and beautiful women are waiting for us inside.
Demonic! The ground moves again. What is that? Great master, demonic art. It truly is demonic. Silence. This is absolutely not a demonic art. It is a Xiangding. What kind of monster is he, after all? The gunpowder smoke gradually dissipated, and below, the messy battlefield no longer held a single soul. Wu Wenchengdu had long since been utterly terrified, retreating with his remaining troops. This battle was a great victory, but standing on the city wall, I feel a continuous struggle. The cost was too great. This single engagement burned through all our gunpowder and scrap metal in storage. That amounts to 50,000 taels of silver. 50,000 taels in exchange for 10,000 elite soldiers of Great Jin, plus their courage. This was a profitable venture for us. We did profit, but now we are out of money. What are the people doing out there? Don't you see the ground is covered in iron armor and weapons? All of that is money. Wait for the fire to die down. Go down and pick all of it up for this old man. Let no one dare hide a single piece of scrap metal. This old man will chop off his arm. Understood. General, after this explosion, Wu Wenchengdu will not dare to act rashly for at least half a month, plagued by this unknown fear. He will lose sleep and appetite, suspecting every inch of land hides a trap for him. We have bought ourselves time. Next, we should settle the matter of military provisions with the imperial court. Elders. Since Zhao Wuji was suspended for investigation, he has been feigning illness at home, but his adopted sons and grandsons have not been idle, scrambling everywhere, trying to overturn the verdict for that eunuch. He will not be able to overturn. Last night, my people dug up 100,000 taels of silver from the dry well in Zhao Wuji's annex. What? Was it truly dug up? If this old man says it is true, then it is true. Does that amount of silver not prove Zhao Wuji's corruption? In any case, it was found in his home. Furthermore, news has just arrived from the north. Great Qin's 500,000-strong army besieged Hutao City. The result was defeat. A defeat. Li Muzhi won. Not merely a victory, but a great triumph. It is said that he used a demonic construct that rose from the ground and blew up Wu Wenchengdu's vanguard. But then again, Li Muzhi's victory proves he has not rebelled. Or rather, he has no intention of rebelling yet. This is now a golden opportunity for us. If Li Muzhi has not rebelled, then Zhao Wuji's crime of colluding with the enemy to betray the nation is sealed. Splendid! Utilizing Li Muzhi's victory to prove Zhao Wuji's crimes. Thus, elders, not only will we overthrow the corrupt officials, but we will also effortlessly bring Li Muzhi from afar under our command. Wise elders, prepare the palanquin. This old man wishes to enter the palace to meet His Majesty and formally seal Zhao Wuji's fate. Damn it! You beast! Damn it! Indeed, things are exactly as they seem. I trusted him, sending him to supervise the army in the northern border. Yet he not only embezzled and accepted bribes, he even dared to collude with enemy nations, treating my empire as his personal transaction. Your Majesty, please quell your anger. Fortunately, General Li Gai, loyal and brave, was not swayed by his family and managed to thwart the enemy's plot by defending the isolated city. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. An imperial decree. Zhao Wuji colluded with the enemy and betrayed the nation. The evidence is irrefutable. Immediately execute Lam Qizhu and exterminate his entire clan. His accomplices shall all be imprisoned and handed over to the Ministry of Justice for interrogation. As for Li Muzhi, although Li Muzhi has not rebelled, he possesses a terrifying power capable of repelling 500,000 enemy troops. What if, one day, he uses it against us? Who could possibly withstand it then? An imperial decree. Restore Li Muzhi to his position as general who guards the north and bestow upon him double his emoluments. Furthermore, we hear that General Lia has yet to marry and has no heir. We have a younger sister, Princess Zhang Luan, who is gentle and virtuous and in the prime of her youth. We command the Ministry of Rights to draft an imperial edict, granting Princess Zhang Luan in marriage to Li Muzhi. Li Muzhi is commanded to immediately return to the capital for the wedding. Is this granted marriage truly a favor? Clearly, His Majesty wishes to trick Li Muzhi back to the capital. General, congratulations. This good-for-nothing has finally escaped bachelorhood. Youngster, this matter is not amusing in the slightest. However,
This emperor of ours truly knows how to manipulate. Unwilling to spend money or grant ample compensation, he resorts to marrying off a woman, hoping to subdue you and all your loyal subjects. I have met Princess Zhang Luan before. She is a pitiful person. General, whether she is pitiful or not is not the issue. This is a trap. If you do not go, it is defiance of an imperial decree. It is an act of rebellion. If you go to the capital, without this 100,000-strong army, you will be a fish on the chopping block. So tell me, should I go or not? Go, of course. Why would I not go when a wife suddenly presents herself? This is a princess of great Gan, a golden branch and jade leaf. If we can help her become a troublesome wife, no. If she becomes the general's lady, how much stronger will the influence of our Beiliang become? All right, then I shall go. Oh, General, are you truly that eager? Jiang Ding, stop teasing me. I merely wish to ask that revered majesty of his whether he felt any remorse in his heart when he sold out the nation's gateway. This time, upon entering the capital, I did not bring a vast force, but rather brought along the entirety of the 800 soldiers of the Black Dragon Battalion. Entering the capital comes with strict regulations prohibiting any armor or weapons, yet I had them fully armed to the teeth. Sure enough, upon reaching the capital gates, we were intercepted by a detachment of troops. Halt! Are those who approach from the northern border army? Indeed we are. Does this, sir, have any guidance for us? Or perhaps you intend to treat us to a meal? How insolent. I am Xianxia, Vice Minister of the Ministry of Rights, sent under imperial decree to welcome General Lia here. Why have you crude, uncouth soldiers not dismounted upon meeting this official? Furthermore, the capital is a place of supreme importance. Heavy weaponry is strictly forbidden. According to Great Qian law, external officials entering the capital must shed their armor, unbuckle their blades, and enter through the side gate. Carrying so many weapons and donning such gear, do you intend to rebel? You must be Vice Minister Qian, correct? What do you intend to do? Vice Minister Qian here just instructed us to shed our armor. These are the rules. Sir, you have misunderstood one fundamental thing. We are not beggars coming to plead for alms. We are the Northern Border Army, and we cut our way here with our blades. The armor upon their backs is the iron pagoda armor of the great Jin dynasty, representing the supreme glory of our Northern Border Army. If they do not wear this armor, who will protect you all should the barbarians or the forces of great Jin launch a surprise attack? Surely not this bunch of literati who know only how to indulge in romantic poetry and wind and moon? Yes. Master Jiang, this is all a misunderstanding. Men, make way. Allow Master Jiang and his men to enter the city. Hurry and clear this boulder out of the way. There is no need to bother you, Vice Minister Qian. We shall handle it ourselves. Donghua, perform your specialty for Vice Minister Qian to see. That boulder weighs 1,000 caddies, yet he lifted it with a single hand. Move out. Into the city. What sheer brute force! Lord Commander, where shall we head next? The official courier station lies to the east. Why go to an inn? Let's go. I will lead you all to the heavenly human world. The elder on that side has already prepared the stage. We must go and advertise our Beiliang specialties, mustn't we? So what about General Li? He must go to the Ministry of War to serve his duties. Just let him go by himself. That is a personal matter. While us earning money is a national affair, they do not affect each other. Advisor, you have finally arrived. I missed you terribly. Is this the heavenly human world you created? Quite impressive. It truly looks like a place of extravagant indulgence. Of course. Nowadays, if the high officials and nobles in the capital do not come to my establishment to spend money for a single day, they feel restless all over. Advisor, the king's secluded chamber on the highest floor has always been reserved for you. No hurry. First, Arrange things for these 800 brothers. Which is the largest bathhouse you can reserve for them? Let them have a thorough cleaning. The bathing water must be warm, and the food must be plentiful. For the technicians and attendants, choose only those with high skill. Consider it done. You just wait and see. The general has arrived. Come down and get some fresh air. Is this your base? Indeed, the atmosphere is murky and hazy. General, this is called the mortal realm. If the water is too clear, there are no fish. Only in such murky and hazy places can one hear the truest words and witness the truest devils. Let's go. We will head upstairs. Someone is waiting. Advisor Jiang, General Li, long time no see. Steward Su. It seems his unusual discipline has not treated you poorly, has it? Is this material the cloud brocade from Jiangnan, specially crafted before? Thanks to your good fortune, advisor. If not for your ledgers, I fear I would already be dead by now. There is no need for formalities. It was mutually beneficial. Ah, that's right. But the elders said you came here for some guidance? The elders instructed me to reply to General Li. Though Zhao Wuji has fallen, the influence of the elders' faction still lingers, like a centipede whose body twitches even after death. Furthermore, His Majesty's suspicion towards the general did not diminish because of that victory. On the contrary, it only deepened. It is rumored that this imperial marriage decree is a trap set by His Majesty. The princess, though favored, has a mother who was a criminal concubine from the previous dynasty. His Majesty marrying her to you is both an enticement and a form of surveillance, but more than anything, it is an insult. An insult. Indeed, the Ministry of Rites has already prepared the grand wedding ceremony. They arranged for the general, on the wedding day, to perform the ritual as a live-in son-in-law, entering the princess's mansion through the side door, and further, he must kneel and offer tea to the imperial relatives. How can our emperor's heart be even narrower than a needle's eye? Whom does he intend to intimidate with this? General, shall we still proceed with this marriage? Why not? Since it is an imperial marriage decree, then we must organize a grand celebration that shakes the heavens and earth. Steward Su, return and relay this message to the elders. I acknowledge his profound intentions. On the day of the grand wedding, I will let all the capital's officials know who is truly insulting whom. If that is the case, I shall take my leave. Wait. This is an invitation to the Northern Liang treasure auction I am organizing at Tianshang to be held in 3 days. I sincerely request the elders to attend. This is precisely my second purpose for coming to the capital. 3 days later, the auction took place at Tianshang, but the items I brought shook the entire capital because they were all things that did not exist in this era. Even a single bottle of low-quality perfume sold for the exorbitant price of 300 taels. By evening, 300,000 taels of silver notes were piled high on the table before me. General Sheng, I have never seen so much money in my entire life. What is this paltry sum? Here, take this. You performed exceptionally well this time. General Sheng, what comes next? Next, we should prepare to drink celebratory wine. Don't move, don't move. General, your body is far too stiff. This ceremonial robe is made of finest silk. It is not armor. Move gently. Do not tear it. This attire, is it perhaps a bit too flamboyant? It must be flamboyant to be proper. Wear a touch of red for good fortune. Moreover, we still have a battle to fight soon. You mean wearing red for luck to make a stand? Ah, it turns out this isn't a battle of blades but a war of words. I received a secret report. That arrogant Minister of Rites has already prepared a public humiliation for you. According to the ancestral customs of Dageng, marrying the princess means becoming a son-in-law to the imperial family. And thus, when entering the princess's manor, one must not use the main gate, but enter through the side gate on the west. How outrageous. I once read in books that even if he is a subject, he is also a husband, and a wife should follow her husband's lead. Yet they force the husband to take a hidden path to meet his wife. That is, to trample on the general's dignity. The general quickly grasps the situation. But this matter is not merely trampling on dignity. It is an act of taming a beast. The emperor wants the world to know that even Li Muzhi, the guardian of Beiliang, must obediently bow his head like a dog when he comes to the imperial gates. Let us go. I am going to marry my wife, not to argue over superiority. As long as I can bring her back, which gate I use does not matter. General, you may not care, but the 100,000 brothers of Beiliang care very much. If today you do not yield, that our sacrifices made in the Northern Territory will become a laughingstock.
Please rest assured. Leave this matter of opening the gate to me.
The auspicious hour had arrived. The entire street leading to the princess's manor was adorned with red decorations.
The common people gathered to watch, as numerous as weeds, all imbued with the festive atmosphere of the imperial family.
But before the main gate of the princess's manor, the atmosphere was somewhat strange. The crimson main gate was tightly shut. Only the side gate next to it, just wide enough for one person to pass through, was open. As our bridal procession appeared, we saw Xianxia, wearing a smug expression, step forward to greet us. The auspicious hour has arrived. I invite the prince consort to dismount and proceed with the ceremony. From the side gate on the west, enter the manor and thank the emperor's grace. Minister Qian, are you perhaps mistaken? You have mistaken the gate. This huge main gate stands right here, yet you forbid us from using it and force us to squeeze into that mouse hole? My general is of robust build. I fear he might get stuck in there and not be able to get out.
This is an ancestral custom. Marrying the princess means becoming a son-in-law to the imperial family, and the prince consort is indeed a subject.
When a subject enters the emperor's gates, how could he use the main gate? This side gate on the west is the gate of humility, meant to signify that the prince consort must adhere to the way of a subject. What if we do not go? These are the rules. It is an imperial decree, firm as the rivers and mountains. If you dare to defy the decree, that is disrespect to the princess and disrespect to His Majesty. If Minister Qian refuses to open the main gate, then I shall find my own way. Let me tell Minister Qian. Whenever we, the people of Beiliang, encounter a closed gate, what do we usually do? Utter audacity. I will surely report to His Majesty to punish you all, to mete out punishment.
The armor worn by these 800 soldiers is each soaked in the blood of the Mani and the great Jin people. Surely everyone knows that our northern garrison army has just repelled the Mani barbarians and the great Jin army.
These are all things we exchanged our lives for. In other words, these sets of armor represent the glory and achievements of our great Gan. May I ask, Lord Qian, must the glory of Great Gan, the achievements of Great Gan, also crawl through a dog's hole? This is true. He is a great hero who returned victorious from battle, forcing a hero to crawl through a dog's hole. This is utterly unreasonable. If you think you've lived too long already, then just continue. But tonight, when you go to sleep, you must be a little careful. Start the sedan. I had always assumed the one I was to marry was a crude martial artist, a spineless individual who would bow his head to imperial brother for power. Unexpectedly, I had guessed wrong. Who is that person riding the horse? Reporting to the princess, that is the chief strategist under Li Muzhi. Jiang Ding is a notorious scoundrel. A scoundrel? How interesting. Princess, night has fallen. You are a golden leaf and jade branch, while I am a crude man from the borderlands. This marriage is forced upon us by His Majesty. I know you feel wronged in your heart. Rest assured, tonight I will sleep on the ground and will not touch you. Is the general despising me, or is he afraid of me? Afraid of you? Afraid that I am Imperial Brother's spy sent here? Afraid that this person in your bed will hold a knife to you? General, since you have stepped through this door, it would be better if we spoke plainly. General, please drain this cup. In this wine, there is drunken, immortal powder. Imperial brother gave it to me, saying it could help the general sleep soundly. A sleep that leads all the way to the imperial prison, yet you still tell me to drink it. I only wanted to tell you what is in this wine. I am a daughter of the Zhao family, but also a daughter-in-law of the Li family. I know all that my imperial brother has done. He wishes to use me, but he has forgotten one thing. A woman, once married, follows her husband. If my husband were to die, a daughter born of a disgraced concubine like myself would only meet a more tragic end in the palace. Therefore, Li Muzhi, whether you wish to rebel or claim the throne, as long as you survive, as long as you protect me, I am yours. Even if you intend to slaughter the imperial palace, I will sharpen your blade for you. Why are you telling me all of this? Because I wish to live.
Those executioners outside must have already been dealt with by your men, haven't they?
Tonight, the princess's residents will likely witness things I do not wish to see, nor dare to look upon, so let us rest. Let those outside worry about matters outside. Do you feel it? It is beating. From this day forward, my life shall be tied to your saddle. If you triumph, it beats. If you fall, it ceases. Go to sleep first. No one will enter this room tonight. The Tang army has arrived. Ah, who's there? I am your ancestor. On such a joyous day, why are you not sleeping but instead running here to eavesdrop? Do you wish to learn how to consummate marriage? Seize him. This is truly intense. Make your move, but do not make a sound. The general is busy inside. If you startle him, I will settle accounts with all of you. An ambush. Help! Quick, help! Whoever wishes to flee tonight from the princess's residence can only enter, not leave. This was a one-sided slaughter. Soon, corpses lay strewn across the entire garden. I stepped forward to examine a corpse, and, as expected, found a golden medallion. Indeed, they were the emperor's men. My men, take this medallion and these 500 heads and load them onto the carriage. Load them onto the carriage. Where should they be sent? Send them to the imperial palace. Tomorrow morning, I want them to appear outside the Meridian Gate. I want to inform His Imperial Majesty. This gift of reciprocity, we in Beiliang shall accept. But should you send gifts next time, remember to send something of actual value. These piles of rotting flesh, even my dogs disdain to eat them. Early the next morning, as the first rays of sunlight shone upon the princess's manor, Hua Yuan had already returned to its tranquility. Li Muzhi pushed open his door, and upon seeing the carriage laden with goods heading towards the imperial palace, he understood everything. Good morning, General. Did you sleep well? You must have had a difficult night. Not difficult, merely a bit hungry. Advisor Jiang. Breakfast has been prepared. This princess? No. I personally went down to the kitchen to establish a solid, warm family base for us, so it is time to return. We must hurry. Royal brother will surely investigate last night's events. Rest assured, he wouldn't dare. I have already retrieved the command tokens from the assassins. If this matter were to get out, how would the world view the emperor? In any case, I am utterly fed up with this troublesome ghost, but before I leave, I must meet someone. Who are you meeting? Elder Yan has arrived? Please, sit. This is this year's Longjing tea. It is a bit bland, not as potent as Beiliang's Shaodaozi wine. I have heard about last night's events. This morning, His Majesty did not even bother with court. He is merely experiencing a relapse of his headache. That is His Majesty's dragon body in disquiet. How does that concern us? Elder, surely you did not call us here today merely for tea. This is a transit permit provided by the Ministry of War and the Ministry of Revenue. With this token, on your way back to Beiliang, all checkpoints along the road will not impede you, even if you carry thousands of carts of contraband. No one will dare to question you. What is your intention? Have you not always considered me a thorn in your side? That was merely in the past. Mu Zihi? Though this old man is a treacherous minister, I am also a subject of Dao Wagan. The very foundations of Dagon have rotted from within. Though Zhao Wuji has been dealt with, countless others like him still remain. His Majesty is no longer the His Majesty of yesteryear. This old man does this not to help you, but rather to leave a line of retreat for Dagon. If one day, the imperial capital truly cannot be held, this old man hopes that the iron cavalry of Beiliang will still remember their way home. We of Beiliang are currently businessmen. Later, should the capital face calamity, you may come to Tianshan Renjian to commission our services. As long as the price is right, our Heilong Ming will always provide paid rescue services, and we are always prepared to do business. You, young man, are far more interesting than Muwalzihi. How could I not understand Yanzong's intentions? I also clearly understood Li Mujihi's silence, which spoke for him, clarifying Beiliang's stance. After bidding farewell to Yanzong, the caravan prepared to depart,
but the Heilongming soldiers escorting the goods were arguing loudly. Because Zhao Yu, the master, had dismantled all his possessions, exchanging them for gold, silver, and medicinal ingredients. In addition, I also bought a large amount of provisions, rendering the previously prepared number of large carts insufficient. My divine crossbow is vulnerable to dampness, so it must be placed in this covered cart. This old man's cart is for dried grapes to accompany the wine jars. They'll be crushed. Can you afford to compensate? Silence, all of you. His divine crossbow is vulnerable to dampness. Then move your cart into the middle of the formation, where it will be sheltered from the wind. However, your cart's axle cannot bear sufficient weight. Disassemble half of the crossbow mechanism and put it onto the coal cart behind. Dried grapes are not afraid of being crushed. If you're afraid of the heat, move your cart to the end of the line. The prevailing breeze will make it cooler there. And those artisans over there, stop running around like headless chickens. Form yourselves into teams, each team responsible for 3 carts. If any cart's wheel gets stuck in the mud, the entire team will forfeit their meal. Now, follow my orders. In half an hour, I want to see the caravan arranged in a single long line, with provisions inside and iron goods outside. Whoever fails will be scrubbing latrines for the entire camp tonight. General, do you see? With a woman to manage them, these wild dogs finally act like humans. General, why do you just stand there idly? It reminds me that I should go fetch a basin of water to wash Tao Zi's feet. That is the way of a husband. Spring arrived a month later in Lakehead City than in the capital. As the procession reached the city gate, thick coal dust and a foul stench assaulted their faces. The moment Zhao Yu alighted from the carriage, she was seized by a fit of coughing. She took out a handkerchief to cover her nose, gazing in shock at the city before her. Can this even be called a city? This was clearly a massive construction site, shrouded in black smoke. This truly is Beiliang. Madam, the conditions are indeed a bit harsh. But this is the smell of silver. Look at the smoke rising over there. That is not smoke. That is silver. Zhao Yu, the post house has been prepared. Though modest, it is very clean. Do not go to the post house. Go straight to the warehouse. Enter the ledger room. Jiang Kanjun, since you have entrusted the logistics to me, then I must first understand your operations. I want to see how exactly you achieve your so-called earning 1,000 gold coins a day. Damn it. Those are infamously messy ledgers. They are all approximate and crude. About that, madam, we have just arrived. There is no need to rush, is there? Or perhaps eat a hot meal first. You can inspect them afterward. Lead the way. Are these your ledgers? On the 15th of the month, the intelligence team received 300 taels of silver. Reason: drinking wine and listening to songs. Jia Zi, were you gathering intelligence? Or visiting a brothel? Can you provide a detailed breakdown for these 300 taels? When conducting reconnaissance, one must treat people to drinks. How can there be details for that? If there are no details, how can things be accounted for properly in the future? Jiang Kanjun, is this how you manage finances? You are clearly a prodigal son. It is only because the current income is high that you can cover up these loopholes. If business ever declines, and you continue to spend in this manner, Beiliang will go bankrupt in no more than 3 months. One must heed the general's teachings and endure the angry reprimands. I knew my days of comfort were now over, but I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. The general has truly received the gold. Previously, I only understood macroeconomic warfare and technical aspects, but regarding this kind of microfinancial management, I was truly a huge deficiency. Previously, there was no other way. I could only superficially manage the Chow business. Now it seems that from today onwards, preparing pen and ink must be done methodically. A corrupt official like you. My black funds have been confiscated. From now on, any expenditure exceeding 1,000 taels must have the signatures of both me and the general to be authorized. No, Taozi, that is my black fund. I need to save it to take a wife. When you take a wife, I will congratulate you with a truly large red envelope. Now that amount has been confiscated to be used as military funds for Beiliang. What are you laughing about? You won't escape either. From now on, every day you will go grind ink for the madam. Only after you have learned how to manage accounts can you return. That night, Beiliang's workshop was brightly lit with lamps and torches. Under Zhao Yu's command, although everyone complained to the heavens, everyone was astonished to discover that the workshop,
which was originally extremely chaotic, had begun to become neat and orderly. Materials no longer mysteriously disappeared, and work efficiency also increased significantly. Zhao Yuhe spent the entire day in the command tent. A few days later, she brought another surprise to the Zhenbei army. This is the list of items to be purchased that I have just compiled. Although we currently have money, we are still severely lacking in supplies, especially food and iron. Although we have bought some from Prince Xiaoyao, it is merely a drop in the ocean. I have calculated. If we want to feed 100,000 soldiers and 100,000 refugees, we must open another trade route. The southern route has already been opened by the Great Dynasty. Which other area do we lack? The western regions are rich in iron ore and cotton. They also have horses. Moreover, they are not under the control of Big Brother, nor do they obey the Great Jin. As long as we have goods to exchange with them, the trade route there will be unobstructed. But to the west, the Great Jin blocks the way. Then we will go around them. Suzy is correct. This lucrative opportunity in the western regions, we must seize. Furthermore, I received a secret report. Da Jin, in the mining region to the west, has unearthed this item. They do not know what this is, but I know what this is. Our fire-winged sparrow's power is currently insufficient, precisely because it lacks this. How laughable that Daijin treats such a good thing as mere rubble and discards it. If we can establish a supply route to the west and transport this Xiao stone back, to whom should we entrust this task? Let Xiazi go. Have Bidlu Koaj accompany him as well. Bidluoj is still a child. He is from the grasslands, understands horses, and also knows how to interact with those arrogant people of the western regions. Let him go to gain some tempering. 10,000 volumes of books cannot compare to 10,000 miles of travel. And this trip to the west is precisely his rite of passage. Early the next morning, a small camel caravan of only 50 people quietly departed from Hutao City. Jiazi led Biluoj towards the sandy golden region to the west. I originally thought this was an extremely simple mission, but unexpectedly, 1 month later, at dawn, I saw a scout covered in mud rush in. Thangquan, Changquan, Jiazi, they are back. Are they back? So fast? No, not all of them returned. Only Jiazi returned, and moreover he is severely injured. He is currently at the infirmary. Lao Huang is performing emergency treatment. What is the situation? And his life has been preserved. But whether he will overcome this critical danger or not, that remains to be seen. The ore Thang Quan brought back. It is Xiao stone. The Xiao stone has extremely high purity. This is precisely the powder igniter that you need. It can be found everywhere in the western regions. What has happened? Where is Tashi? Where are the remaining 49 brothers? They have been captured. We were at the border of the Kat Tu Than Desert, holding off the Lulan army. Do they intend to seize the outpost outright? No, that wolf cub, Tashi, has grown up. He led the remaining people to retreat into a desolate, ancient city. He told me to bring this package back and report the news first. He said he is the Golden Tent Prince. The Lulan people would not dare harm him. They can only hold him as a bargaining chip. General Jiangding, I understand your intentions, but we must remain calm now. If we send troops to attack Lulan, Bei Liang could very likely be exploited by the great Jin Shuzhu. At that time, the losses would be irreparable. Lulan is a small nation, merely an oasis city-state. Its population is less than 100,000, and its military strength is at most 10,000. Where do they get such audacity? Dare they capture our Bei Liang people? Unless they are backed by the great Jins, Shui Yu? That old man Wu Wen from the capital cannot defeat us head-on, so he resorts to schemes behind our backs. After I stepped out of the medical hall, the sky outside was gloomy and silent. This was the first time I tasted defeat, but Li Muzi's worries were not unfounded. Lulan is entirely covered in golden sands, and its roads are distant. Our grand cannons fundamentally cannot be transported there. If the Zhenbei army were dispatched, the Great Qin would undoubtedly receive the news. Shuzhu would seize the opportunity. This matter troubled me for several days, but I finally thought of a solution. Well done. Why have you called us here? Don't you know yet? I heard that the food supply here is insufficient. The general wants to drive us away. Elders and villagers, to be honest with everyone, we are indeed facing difficulties. From today onwards, the workshop will lay off half its workforce. But from today onwards, Beiliang will implement a household registration system. Anyone who possesses this plaque is a citizen of my Beiliang. With this plaque, each person can come to the General's Mansion Cooperative every month to receive 20 jin of white wheat flour, 1 jin of soybean oil, and half a jin of pork for free. With this plaque, your children will receive free education at the Beiliang Academy. With this plaque, if any of you fall in battle, the General's Mansion will care for your elderly and raise your orphans until they reach 18 years of age. As soon as these words were uttered, the crowd immediately erupted. How could these displaced people have ever heard of such good fortune? And the method to obtain this plaque was incredibly simple. Either enlist in the army, or work diligently for 1 full year, or render meritorious service to Beiliang. In addition, I have promulgated a new regulation. Henceforth, all shops selling grain, oil, cloth, and salt in Beiliang shall be seized and fall under the ownership of the General's Mansion. Individuals are forbidden from trading. Furthermore, public vouchers will be issued. Those with a registered household can use these vouchers to purchase supplies at an extremely low price. If one does not possess such a registration but still wishes to purchase, the price will be exorbitant. This enormous disparity in benefits drives everyone to risk their lives for that Beiliang household registration, to serve with utmost loyalty. Enlist in the army. At this rate, our troop numbers will soon expand to 20,000. But are you trying to say they are like a ragged, disorganized rabble? When I first arrived at the Death Warrior barracks to recruit soldiers, those Death Warriors were even more decrepit than these people. But I know that it is precisely these individuals from the lowest strata of society who, as long as they are promised sufficient, immense benefits, will be willing to brave life and death to fight for them. Another month passed. This group of refugees, after undergoing training, has become a meticulously disciplined force. I knew it was time to march on Lulan. But I did not mobilize the Northern Garrison Army. Instead, I led these 20,000 new recruits along with the elite Black Dragon Battalion. To transport the Great Truth cannons across the desert, the engineers had crafted a special type of sand sledge. It was similar to a snow sledge, but its wider runners made it easier to navigate forward, and being pulled by camels saved considerable effort. Advance! The entire army accelerated. Before nightfall, I want to set up our cooking fires beneath Lulan's city gates. Tell the brothers that tonight's meal will be courtesy of the King of Lulan. Esteemed envoy, did you not just claim that Beiliang is currently besieged by your great Jin's 500,000-strong army? If you cannot even protect yourself, then why do my scouts report that an army of 20,000 is heading towards us? Your Majesty, there is no need to panic. That is merely a disorganized mob formed by gathered refugees. That Jiangting is merely a stray dog, wanted by the great Qian imperial court. He has only come here to put on a show of force and demand the return of that hostage. You, little hostage? Your companions have come to rescue you. Tell me, should I boil you alive as a sacrifice to my banners, or hang you atop the city walls as a target for arrows? If I were you, I would immediately open the city gates, kneel on the ground, and prepare whole roasted lambs and fine wines. With the enemy at your doorstep, you still dare to speak so defiantly? I have formidable desert defenses, impregnable city walls, and the backing of Great Jin. What can his 20,000 refugees possibly do to me? Refugee. Do you know what I have been thinking about these past few days? What? I have been tallying, calculating exactly how much your Lulan city is worth, because that master of mine never makes a losing trade. If he brought 20,000 men here, it proves that what he intends to take from you is worth at least as much as the deployment cost of those 20,000 men. As for your current choice, it is not whether to kill me or not, but rather how you wish to die. Will it be blown into scattered ashes, or ripped into 100 pieces by those 20,000 refugees? Guards! Someone, come! Hang him up for me. Hang him above the city gates. I, for one, want to watch with my own eyes to see if that Jiangting truly dares to make a move. Men, attack! Kill every single one of these beasts. Hang him directly in the direction of the wind. Is he trying to force his death? Do not be reckless. Shoot this onto the pillar atop the city wall. Ah, what is this? This is the itemized invoice. This is going too far, pushing people too far. Who does he think he is? The Emperor of Great Qian? Pass the order to defend to the death. Defend to the death for me. I refuse to believe they can fly inside. I waited outside the city walls until the sun began to set, yet there was still no movement at the city gates. Left with no choice, I instructed Gong Yuye to roll out the cannons of truth. After adjusting the angles, 10 cannons roared simultaneously, forming 10 arcs of fire that traversed over the city walls and slammed directly into the encampment behind them. In an instant, countless agonizing screams of the Lulan soldiers echoed through the air. Meanwhile, atop the city wall, Ying Bodu had long been paralyzed with fear, collapsing onto the ground. Your Majesty, the king, I told you before, your defeat is beyond a shadow of a doubt. What kind of sorcery is this? That Xianxia. Is he a demon? Your Majesty, do not listen to his nonsense. While chaos reigns right now, kill this brat immediately. As long as it blinks, Xianxia will lose his pretext. Foolish idiot. Are you trying to ruin me? Do you not see the 20,000 madmen outside the city walls, eagerly waiting for an excuse to slaughter the entire city? Prince. No, grandfather. My young ancestor, I beg you, quickly tell that Black Yama to stop attacking. I will pay the money. Whatever amount is on that invoice, I will pay double. Stand up, open the city gates, and prepare a feast of wine. Furthermore, go into your storerooms. Retrieve the finest velvet carpet you have, and roll it out. My master dislikes walking on filthy ground. The heavy, thick city gates slowly creaked open. There was no slaughter, nor was there any resistance. Immediately after, I saw Ying Bodu, leading his civil and military officials rushing outside, holding in his hands the invoice he had previously torn to shreds and then pieced back together. Alongside it were the keys to the treasury, as he hurriedly fell to his knees in front of me. This guilty servant, Ying Bodu, respectfully welcomes the heavenly army of the sovereign state. Oh, King Ying, you are bestowing far too grand a ceremony upon me. Would it not have been better to be this polite from the beginning, rather than forcing me to open fire? Do you have any idea how expensive artillery shells are? This guilty servant deserves death. This guilty servant was blind. Shuozi, lead your men to the treasury, and load all the saltpeter, sulfur, gold, silver, and precious jewels onto the carriages for me. Remember to leave behind enough daily living expenses for King Ying so he does not starve to death. Additionally, the defense of this city will be taken over by us from now on. I was afraid it would not work at first, but now that I have thought it through, I know Master would never make a losing trade. I am a pawn in your hand, so you would not bear to blow me up. If you are so clever that you did not die, then stop whining. This old man over here was planning to kill you again. How shall we handle him now? I leave him to you. This is the third lesson I am teaching ZB, the art of controlling people. At this moment, I could clearly sense that he was hesitating deeply. If he killed him, it would certainly vent his anger. However, once dead, Lulan would fall into chaos. Beiliang would then have to dispatch troops to manage this chaotic mess, which is truly not worth the effort. Xingbi pondered for a moment, before finally deciding to draw his short blade, pressing it directly against Ying Bodu's neck. Ying Bodu, I will not kill you. You remain the king. Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Your Highness. However, starting today, Lulan is no longer a vassal of Great Jin, but a special administrative region of Beiliang. You must hand over every single saltpeter mine here. You must assist us in constructing a trade route directly to Tigerhead City. You must allow your common people to purchase Beiliang goods. In exchange, Beiliang will offer you protection. Whoever dares to touch you touches the purse of Beiliang. Regardless of whether it is Dai Jin or Dai Gan, they must first ask if our principals agree. Little Wolf, you may now be dispatched. This operation was executed flawlessly. Pass down the order to the entire army. Rest for one night. Tomorrow morning, bring our spoils of war home. That night, a grand celebration banquet was held in the royal palace of Lulan City. The 20,000 new soldiers of Beiliang were treated to the most delicious hand-torn lamb in the world, and drank the strongest wine. They savored the exhilaration of victory, and their reverence for me deepened even further. However, when the banquet was only halfway through, a messenger pigeon suddenly flew before me. I took the message scroll from the pigeon's leg, and realized this was an urgent dispatch from Limuji. The vanguard, Yuan Chengdu, has already reached the Blackwater River. The main army must return swiftly. Military advisor, what are you looking at? Oh, nothing. Please, continue eating. Speak, what is the matter? Madam, this scoundrel bullied me. He ate my tofu without paying, and even claimed to be a hero of the Black Dragon camp. He said eating my goods was doing me a favor, and even overturned my stall. Nonsense! Does this old man not have money? This old man paid properly with military vouchers. Yet this old man claimed the vouchers were mere waste paper, and insisted on cash. This old man was so enraged that he merely lashed out. However, let us also consider this. This old man risked his life on the front lines, so what if he ate a piece of tofu? Ergo, what is the 17th military regulation of the Black Dragon camp? Do not harass the populace. Do not force purchases or sales. Violators will be punished with 20 strokes of the rod, and their monthly military stipend will be confiscated. You know it exceedingly well, don't you? Vouchers represent the dignity of Bei Liang, and he refused to accept them. That indicates he has no faith in us. You could report him to the administrative squad to seal his shop and make an example of him. But you used your hands to overturn the stall, and that is thuggish behavior. We, of Bei Liang, are here to contend for dominion over the realm, not to act as common bandits. Guards, Nhi Gao was given 30 lashes, his name posted on the board of ignominy, and he is forbidden from eating meat in the dining hall for 3 days. As for the master in Bei Liang, public bonds are considered as valuable as banknotes. He refused to accept the 5 taels of public bonds, but these 5 taels of silver will compensate Nhi Gao for his injuries. Each side will receive 50 heavy blows. Are you all satisfied? We are satisfied. We are satisfied. Madam, someone is beating the drum outside the gate again. How many people is this today? Let them in. HMPH, why are so many people falling ill? Divine Doctor, my daughter has been experiencing nausea recently. Could it be that she is with child? Elder sister, your daughter has simply eaten too much. Just go home and eat less meat. However, I observe this young lady possesses the countenance of one who brings prosperity to her husband. In our Black Dragon camp, there is a sturdy, honest centurion who is currently unmarried. He receives 5 taels of military salary each month. Would you care to consider him? Truly? 5 taels? Marry her off. She must be married off. Divine Dr. Huang, are you treating illnesses or acting as a matchmaker? Madam, you truly do not understand. This is what we call comprehensive management. In our Azure Lake region, there are too many young men seeking wives. Those youngsters from the Black Dragon camp, they have money in hand, but no place to spend it. Or rather, they have excess vigor with no proper outlet. They are very prone to causing trouble, just like that Nhi Gao. As for these refugee families, they are utterly destitute. They simply wish to find a pillar of support. Is this not a perfect arrangement? This coming first day of the month, we will be holding a grand matchmaking event. Madam, would you care to attend and oversee the proceedings? What are you doing standing there? Come forward, Lang Ju. Normally, you strike down opponents without batting an eye. Why do you not dare speak, even at midday now? My name is Ling Ju, and I am very quick at dispatching people. Truly, a single blade strike will claim your life painlessly. You should not speak to a young lady merely to boast about your ability to dispatch people. Little sister, do not be afraid. Despite his fierce appearance, he always saved his monthly military pay without spending it. He was even allocated a house within the city. He had saved for 3 months just to purchase this silver agarwood. I also know how to cook, and I can mend clothes. It's done, it's done. I have a wife now. I also have a home now. I even have 2 pigs. This is the true foundation. A home, a wife and children, a warm bed. These wild dogs will become loyal guard dogs for the home. When the great Qin army arrives, to protect this hard-won peace, they will voluntarily behead the enemy. Did we come to the wrong place? Hazi, did we perhaps step into a peach blossom spring? General Tang, you've finally returned. What is going on here? Nothing at all. Merely providing a home for your brothers who only know how to fight. Hearing Zhao Yu's words, I immediately understood everything. Tonight, the lights of Hudao City shine brighter than even the stars in the sky. But beneath these warm lights, I know clearly that Yuan Chengdu's grand army has already reached the other bank of the Blackwater River. Tomorrow, or the day after, this newly established peaceful land
will face its most brutal challenge. This Western campaign brought back a total of 50,000 caddies of saltpeter, which converts to 30,000 taels of silver, and 2,000 caddies of sulfur, converting to 500 taels, 2,000 taels of gold, and 10,000 taels of silver. Zuzi. This is a dining table, not an accounting room. You're confusing me. Can we eat first? Why rush to settle accounts? That's not right. The treasures you plundered from the Lulan royal palace. There isn't just this much, is there? I remember there was also a precious gem from the western regions on the list. Where did it go? That must have been lost during this journey. Lost? Then why did I hear Hazi say, "You secretly distributed that precious gem as a reward to 20,000 new recruits?" Huh? That was also to boost morale. Those children traveled so far for the first time without gaining any benefits. Next time, who would dare risk their lives with you again? Then you must not secretly hide the accounts, right? There will be no next time. Understood? Good. I will obey the elders' every word. Eat your meat. Eat your meat. Eat more vegetables, won't you? You've never eaten such a renowned dish before, have you? Thank you, General. Don't call me General. When we're home, call me great uncle. Call her great aunt. Call me uncle. Why? Why? What do you mean, why? Now you are my disciple. One day a master. A lifetime a father. Understood? I don't want to mess things up, but positions must not be confused. Hurry, and address them properly. The lamplight is truly warm tonight, and the braised pork is also very delicious. This place is far better than that place, the Golden Imperial Court, where there is only a struggle for power and profit. Great uncle. Great aunt. Uncle. This is the right way, isn't it? From now on, we are one family. Since we are family, then uncle will no longer issue your wages, okay? Anyway, you won't be spending it, so uncle will keep it for you for when you take a wife later. I knew it. Uncle just wants to pocket my money again. Great aunt, look at uncle. All right. Your money, great aunt, we'll record it separately. Your uncle won't be able to touch it. Rest assured, when you take a wife, great aunt will choose for you the most beautiful maiden in northern Liang. Jiangding, the grand army of Yuan Shengdu, has set up camp on the other side of Heishui River. You know that, right? Are you scared? What is there to fear? General, after we finish this meal, I will tell you my strategy. General, just listen to me. Right here, in this very spot, we bury 500 charges of explosives. Wait for the vanguard of the Great Jin to just show their heads, and we guarantee to obliterate them beyond recognition. Are you finished speaking? I am finished. What do you think? Isn't this plan perfect? This is what is called striking the enemy in the middle of their advance. Extremely vicious and ruthless, yet useless. Useless. General, you should not underestimate gunpowder. You have seen its power before. I do not underestimate gunpowder. Rather, I understand Yuan Shengdu too well. Yuan Shengdu is a renowned general of the Great Jin, not a reckless fool. Last time at Heifeng Pass, he suffered losses because of your landmines. At Qingsuye, he again suffered losses due to artillery. Do you think this time he will still act like a fool and rush headlong into this obvious, suitable ambush location? Then which path will he take? He cannot simply fly over. He will take this path. The Fengzhuo slope is steep and high, with swift currents. It is not suitable for constructing pontoon bridges. It is precisely because it is unconventional that it is safe. Yuan Chengdu is betting that we will set up an ambush at Baikan. He expects us to concentrate all our powerful firepower in easily passable areas, so he will do the opposite. He will take advantage of tonight's heavy rain to forcibly erect a pontoon bridge at Lufeng Slope. Once he seizes the high ground, his heavy crossbows can fire down from above, suppressing our artillery positions. By then, his 500,000-strong army will pour down like a broken dam. If it is truly as Li Muzi says, then the explosives I buried at Baikan would merely be for show. The flank of Beiliang would be completely exposed to the enemy's devastating blades. Then we must quickly dig up the explosives and relocate them to Lufeng Slope. It is too late. Jiangding has become too reliant on those fixed advantages. Huo Yao is the same, as are his sensibilities. That is merely their nature. When fighting a battle, what is important is the overall strategic situation. If he intends to take the high ground path, I will let him proceed with his commands. The vanguard shall become the rearguard. The rearguard shall become the vanguard. The Black Dragon Battalion shall remain as the reserve force. Instruct the infantry battalion to discard all heavy shields,
carry only broadswords and short spears, and immediately set out to ambush in the reed marsh below Lufeng Slope. Remember, this is an ambush, not an interception. Without my direct command, even if the enemy's blades are at your throats, you must not move. And you must not make a sound. I want to lure them in. Only when 5,000 of them have entered will we close the net and strike.